of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're heavy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're heavy because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
All right. Hey, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast, broadcasted to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and we have got a fantastic, and I do mean fantastic show for you, on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Let me tell you something, we're going to have a lot of fun here. We just had some very good fights last night, a little bit of everything for everybody. It's rare that boxing's been able to deliver a little intrigue 2 weeks in a row with so little to cover, but hey, sometimes it doesn't give you what you want, but it gives you what you need. Before we get down to the fun, fellas, let's get the business out of the way. Don't forget you can donate via the Super Chat if you are so inclined. It's always better if you join the BDA membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. But the most important thing is that you continue to like and subscribe, fellas. Continue to like and subscribe and spread the BDA gospel to the uninitiated, all right? High times are coming. Dire times are coming. And we need that spiritual armor to keep us all protected. In any event, shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Parokua, Some Rando, Alan R in the house. Shout out to Alan R. Shout out to SSC. He says it was a great fight, badass environment. Vergil needs his title shot next. Absolutely. Shout out to the Quags. Shout out to Brian Montes, Parokua. 1 foot at the door. Shout out to 1 foot at the door. Under a microscope, JJ, Vladdy V, Luis, Rod T, JumpTube, Official Scorecard Boxing. Check out his boxing channel, Official Scorecard Boxing Science. He's been making some very, very good film analysis, breaking down Canelo Golovkin. Shout out to Who Am I? Shout out to the Don and all the Dons out there. Shout out to Shadow Combat, Iceman, Eric Gomez, and many more people to come, I'm sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. All right. Oh, hold on a second. We got a super chat we got to read right off the bat. Shout out to Plutonium Loach for his contribution to the super chat. He says Crawford and Spence need to grow some huevos, stop fudge packing each other and fight already, or give Vergil a shot. That's right. These two guys, they just want, the other day for some reason I got recommended the song Linger by the Cranberries, and I was listening to the lyrics, which I don't often do, and I said, wait a minute, this song describes fucking Crawford-Spence. They got us wrapped around their finger, man. Or fingers, and enough, I say. In any event, listen, let's get down to it. We got Gonzalo and Jimmy dropping by. Shout out to you fellas for dropping by. Always appreciate it. Let's talk about this then. Let's talk about Vergil Ortiz. What's that? Oh, I hear somebody screaming in the background. Vergil Ortiz dropping Michael McKinson, the undefeated Michael McKinson, twice and stopping him in the 9th round. Who wants to go first? Anybody have anything they want to get off their chest right off the bat?
Well, I have to correct you. He didn't really drop him. It was an injured leg, I think Manic said.
I said, all right, well, dropped him once then. Dropped him once.
No, I was just kidding. No, he was dropped. It wasn't an injured leg. He was running around the ring after. There was nothing wrong with the dude's leg. And he didn't see the second punch, did clip him. He just caught him right at the... I've said it before. Sometimes it's not the direct punch to the liver. You can just get like catch it, like it. Well, not to be rude, but if you, it's not when sometimes you get kicked square in the nuts, it hurts worse if you just get smacked. You know what I mean? Like clipped in them, it's even worse. It's the same type of thing with a body shot.
But wait, Jimmy. So what was?
I got some things.
Jimmy, I didn't see the replay for that. What was the? So there was a punch at the end because I didn't see the replay.
Well, it was a delayed reaction. It's a delayed reaction.
Yes, exactly.
Your nerves recoil. Your nerves recoil. They pull back, and it's like your hip. We never seen that before. But when you've been getting that kind of a beating, and it's not like necessarily like McKinson was a smaller guy, but you got hit on the hip, you got a hit on the liver, and your nerves kind of recoil, and you did that number where you're fucking you're catching your leg, your leg is like doing a hiccup. It's one of those things.
All right.
Yeah, it's when you let the breath out. After you take a liver shot, you're usually good until you breathe out, and then breath won't come back in. And it's an ugly feeling. Yeah, it's really bad. But I got some strong feelings on this fight all the way around, on his performance, on Ortiz's performance, because I'm really high on him. There's a couple of things I liked, and there's a couple of things I didn't like about it.
Well, let's get down to it because I asked you fellas earlier on this week when we did the preview show. I said, what does he have to do to impress, not necessarily to impress you, but to meet your minimum standard of not praise, but what does he have to do to get the job done? You guys said we'll take out the trash.
Well, BDA, I just gotta mention something. When you got 2 knockouts, there's something to like. You gotta glare over, and you gotta say, well, it's McKinson. He got run over before or like stopped when he can't stop anybody else, or do we have to consider that maybe he's got a steely chin? He's a tough motherfucker. He's a wily, slippery, and there's a difference between slippery and what's the word that you hate? Not slippery, but slick. Yeah. When you're slippery, sometimes yes, you're like Tite Vasquez. You can roll with the punches. But if you're also strong and you got a steely chin and you're fucking wily and you're crafty and you're not fucking running ass fucking like that new saying that's going around. No, you can fucking literally like roll with the punches and still be wily enough that you're crafty and not only like we have to consider that maybe he got 2 stoppages, but he's got a steely chin to boot. He's got a tough chin. That McKinson is fucking. He's gonna get another fucking payday. So to Jimmy, how do we dissect that victory against a guy that can't crack when it took you 9 rounds, a little bit longer than usually takes you to knock everybody else out? And that's not a knock. I'm just putting it into perspective. He's knocking everybody out. He knocked out Usyk in 8 rounds. It took him 9 to get through this guy after especially being in a layoff for like 12 months. I don't know how long.
Well, Jimmy, that's the question. Like I said, in the beginning, in the week, we said, what does he need to do? You said take out the trash. Do you feel he did that?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Listen, he continued his knockout. He's still, like, say this, the hardest punching welterweight. He commits to his punches, to hitting hardest, the most. There was a couple of things I wanted to see. I wanted to see if, again, fighting a slickish southpaw. It's been out of the ring. I was curious how he dealt with the ring rust. I thought he handled that better than I thought. What I didn't like was the fact that you have Manny Robles in your corner. You went out and got him. And to your own admission at the press conference after, he straight up said, I didn't listen to him. For 7 rounds, I didn't listen to him. I mean, it was the end. He was pleading with them. Dude, hit the body. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. He was headhunting because he knows he's got such power. And he commits to his punches. He throws everything with such bad intentions. It's like, man, when you got a gun, right? You're going to aim for the head. You're going to aim for the chin. A lot of people aim for the head when the headshot's a lot harder to make. It's like punch to your body. Like, and he said it so perfectly. He said, once I stopped trying to knock him out and I just did what I can do, let my hands go naturally. Hide the right hand behind his jab instead of, stalking him, following him around with just his right hand cocked, ready to let go. Hide it behind a jab. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until he did, he said, you know what? Once I listened to him and I just attacked the body, throw the jab at his chest, you know what I mean? And then, and he did that, and he was funny. So I like the fact that he acknowledged what he did wrong, but it still bothers me at this journey in his career that he's still ignoring his corner. That it can be sometimes a question of maturity, or it could be a question of comfort with your trainer. Do you trust him wholeheartedly? And I believe he does have mad respect for Robles, and he was being told the right things to do. Though every time I listened to him, he was being told the right things to do. Again, props to his performance. A year out of the ring, he went out, stopped the kid who's never been stopped. He's still he should be the WBC #1 ranked. I just didn't like that it took him that long, because if he would have just listened to Robles right from the beginning, sold out to his corner, said, okay, tell me what to do. You know what I mean? I trust you. You know what I can do. You know what's in front of me. And if he just listened to him, he would have had that kid out of there 3rd, 4th round.
Well, let me Gazelle, hold on real quick. Just shout out to William Boxing for his contribution to the super chat. He says Vergil has a good gas tank for being out a year. Shout out to William Boxing for his contribution. Yeah, what about that, Gonzalo? I mean, did he need a gas tank today? I mean, he was just essentially chasing a guy down who, after the 3rd round, it was pretty clear that he went on the defensive. He knew what was going to happen.
Well, it's like Julio Cesar Chavez said. You take out the body and the head's going to fall with it. You hit the body, the dummy's going to fall along because the head is attached to the body. So if you ain't knocking the dude upstairs, touch the body, and the whole fucking, the body's going to collapse along with the head. And Spanish, for the lack of a better explanation to the people that I'm trying to explain what I'm saying. In regards to Manny Robles, hey, Jimmy, we got to understand that he didn't say fucking he didn't say my trainer, my coach told me to do. He said my father, there's too many players in that corner. So after 7 rounds, I listened to what my dad was telling me. So he wasn't even fucking listening to what Manny Robles had to say. It was all about what the dad was saying. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay, you fucking fired Robert Garcia. Now you got Manny Robles, but at the end of the day, the only motherfucker you're listening to is your dad after 7 fucking rounds, and you're still doing your own thing. Yeah, that's a little bit of cause for concern. It's not what Manny Robles was saying. It's what the father said, and what he wasn't listening to.
Exactly.
Well, listen, at the end of the day...
They all pretty much had the same thing, too. Sorry, BDA, but they all was pretty much saying the same thing. But it is funny that he did mention his father and not Manny, right? Anyway, BDA, what was that?
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, he was out for almost a year, or more than a year, fought a guy that's not easy to look good against. But he did. I thought he did what he had to. When I asked you guys in the middle of the week, what does he have to do? Take out the trash. No disrespect to McKinson, but just, the expression, take out the trash. Now, do you guys think that, because there were times where Ortiz was looking reckless in there. He certainly didn't look that reckless against bigger punchers like Kavaliauskas and Hooker. So I have to ask, was McKinson's lack of punching power a little bit of a detriment to Ortiz in that he thought, I'm just going to go in there, fuck technique, I'm just going to wade through the guy? Because, I mean, he was looking sloppy in certain instances.
Well, it does make you less worrying about defense. Obviously, if you you eat the best the guy has, and you're like, wow, that didn't even get me even rocked. That you'll be a little less cautious. You know what I mean? Throw a little more caution to the wind. But again, and I'm nitpicking here, but that's what we do. And again, I've always been high on Ortiz for years. I've been big on this kid, and I still am. I just want to see him focus a little more, because what happens, right? The thing is, you fight Boots Ennis and you miss that big against someone like Boots, or his athleticism and punching power, he's going to make you pay. Or even worse, I believe could do even worse, is Terrence Crawford would make him pay, because he commits so much on his punches, and when he's throwing everything with such bad intentions, and if he starts headhunting and not following it up, but one-shotting and putting so much on, he's putting himself out of position. You can take it. And listen, remember when Manny said, he kept repeating in almost every round, like 2 rounds, controlled aggression. That's exactly what he's saying when he's telling him that. Control your aggression. Don't go out there because it's bad habits. I mean, it doesn't matter. This guy doesn't have, you still want to develop quality habits in the ring, especially if you're a 2-time-a-year fighter, which is just fucking blows my mind. A kid with that least fights is only fighting because he's just not gonna. It just sucks that he fights, but that's another whole show.
Yeah, hopefully they get him a fight. Hopefully they get him a fight in December or November, because he should be at least, No, but now listen, I want to make it clear, because some people are saying, BD is right, Vergil Ortiz is sloppy. I'm saying in this fight he was sloppy because he could get away with it. And I think that was a mistake, obviously, because I do believe he could have gotten him out of there. But don't expect him to fight like that in his next fights, because when he fought bigger punchers like Hooker and Kavaliauskas, he didn't look this sloppy. He looked tight. He looked with good technique. He kept his hands up. It was just this time. Yeah, tight. It was just this time. He fought a guy with 2 knockouts, and he said, "Fuck it." He went wild, but he did go. He could have been more consistent to the body, but he did start going to the body as early as the second or first round. I love that combination where he goes left hook to the body and then left hook down the middle, left uppercut down the middle upstairs. It's a beautiful combination, and you could see that whenever he threw that, he was freezing McKinson up. Got to give credit to McKinson too. He showed up, no punching power at all. As soon as he realized that he couldn't outbox Ortiz, he went on the defensive, but he still tried. He was still trying to catch him with one shot, even though that was probably never gonna materialize a knockout. But hey, he's gonna be around. I think they're gonna feed him probably to maybe Conor Benn next, if that what's that fight with Eubank Jr. doesn't happen, because it looks like it might be falling apart.
I'm gonna say McKinson maybe doesn't have the punching power, but he's got some type of punching power, because if you win that long without knocking people out and not getting run over, but you still survive to see this type of payday against Vergil Ortiz, a guy that's been fucking on a run that's causing a buzz, because he's reaching like the 20s where people are paying attention. And they're not only going to feed you bums, you got to keep the knockout streak alive, but we also want to see it fucking falter. We want to test you to where nobody's going to give me gimmies after like the 18th, 19th, 20th fight. Whether you can knock out or not, we want to see, can you still get the knockouts? And McKinson, he's strong. Maybe he's not the power puncher, but that doesn't equate to like necessarily if you can't punch, that you don't have a fucking chin. That dude might be wily, crafty, and it might have a steely enough chin that where he got the boxing skills to where he's slippery enough to fucking survive, to where he's not getting caught. Yeah, he might get fed up to Conor Benz and the fucking Boots Ennis of the world. We have to see. But that dude, he's a fucking Golden Boy is fucking not living nightmare, but the opposite.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, Errol Spence, if Errol Spence would have fought McKinson last night, I think it would have gone about the same amount of time. Maybe he would have stopped him a round or two earlier, maybe. But still, he would have had to. But he would have had to chop McKinson out, because he's not all that explosive. Ortiz, Crawford, could he have taken him out earlier? I don't know, man. I mean, look, when he fights guys that move around like Thierry Jean at 140, he has to chase him down too. It's not like he's whacking them out with one shot like Deontay Wilder. So, I mean, I think Ortiz did as well as anybody else could have done. This guy can whack hard. When he goes to the body, he packs a wallop. He's got good defense. Some people were saying, "Oh, look at him. He was marked up at the end of the fight." Yeah, he got headbutted. Like, what'd you expect, man? So he did what he had to do.
6 times.
6 times? Whoa. Jeez, Louise, that's a whole lot.
Yeah, and it was like 6 times. I counted. They bumped heads in his face like 6 times. I counted.
Yeah, listen, he did what he had to do. He took McKinson out of there. Maybe make complicated a little bit more than he should have. That's the only real criticism you can launch at him. Other than that, I don't know if anybody really wants to step in there with the guy. Look, we're still talking. It's August the 7th, and we're still talking about Crawford-Spence, and the same old channels, the usual suspects, are still talking about 2 more weeks. We hope it happens, but we're starting to lose a little hope here. We've become a little bit cynical.
As long as the blueprint is not out. Well, motherfuckers are always watching, and they're chomping at the bit. How can we pick apart your performance, especially if you got the 19 victories, the 19 knockouts? What can I take away from what you did that I can fucking pick that apart? No, he's still getting the knockouts. And if you ask Terrence Crawford, you want to face this guy? Well, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. What do the fucking naysayers, or what are the ones that are questioning his performance got to say about him facing a guy like McKinson to say, well, I'm going to pick this performance apart. That I'm saying, if the blueprint is out, how can I not only defeat this guy? How can I stop his fucking KO?
Well, listen. This isn't a case of Tank Davis losing rounds against a borderline retard and then saving himself with a knockout out of nowhere. That's not, this Ortiz was winning every round. He wasn't in the club.
Well, that's the thing. The blueprint is not out. So
exactly,
he's still out there. He's still knocking dudes out. And if you wanna you saw some holes in there, maybe you can exploit those. But that doesn't mean that nothing's gonna come back your way, because something is. As far as Vergil Ortiz, right? He's gonna throw something back your way that the blueprint is not out. Right.
Well, that's the thing. That's when people are saying, there's people. Obviously, everyone's gonna say whatever they want to say on the internet. But when I hear statements like Boots beats him easily, or Crawford beats him easily, or Spence, listen. When you have the type of ordnance that Ortiz has, and he's well schooled, and he's tough, and he's big for a welterweight, he's not an easy time for anybody. No,
and we don't even know if Boots Ennis can even take a big shot yet.
I don't think he hasn't.
Can, Nobody's seen him take a big shot yet, and nowhere near the shot that Ortiz can hit. And listen, just because we've seen Spence look so good against Usyk, who's got 30% knockout ratio, you're not going to go. He's not going to commit to the body like that on Vergil Ortiz. Believe me, he's going to be up on his fucking. Nobody's going to run him backwards out of those guys. They're all going to try to counterpunch him. Vergil Ortiz has got an iron chin. He's tough as a $2 steak, and he can fucking crack. The only person going to beat him is him. As long as he stays within himself, and he has enough power that he just throw up at 70%, bro. Take 20, 30% off those punches, and you'll still put people out because you'll be more accurate. Your punches will get there quicker, and just. Change levels. And again, a couple of times, what happens was you feel a person, when you hit somebody, you just feel their body. You've hurt them, or if they don't like you or respect you, you know what I mean? If they don't want to get hit again, and it charges you up a little. You could see it in his face. Remember, he would smirk at him and go, how'd you like that? He knows he's got that power. So as a human, you're like, So it's like, it takes a lot of discipline not to go for somebody's head when you could punch as hard as he does, because he knows all he has to do is connect once. All I got to do is catch you, you little fuck. Keep running. All I got to do is catch you once, and you're mine. So having that ordinance at your disposal is hard not to use it. The greats learn to mix it up and use levels. You know what I mean? Go up and down with your jab. Feint them. Get them mentally exhausted doing other things, and then bang, you bring your right hand in behind one of his jabs, and he has a good jab too. He snaps it out quick, and I'm telling you right now, if he's on his game, I don't say any of them beat him. I wouldn't say he beats them. I wouldn't know. At this point, I'd do a 50-50, and that's good. I don't lie on anybody about my predictions when it comes to that.
Absolutely, man. By the way, shout out to Dennis F for his contribution to the super chat. He says zero power coming back at Vergil, wild/rusty. I do think there might have been a little bit of rust in there, obviously, and like we said, maybe the fact that McKinson didn't have anything to make Vergil respect him actually hindered Ortiz, because he got a little bit wild in there. But nevertheless, after a year off against a tricky opponent like McKinson, and he broke him down, made it look easy. Well, the only criticism is, could he have done it earlier had he stayed tighter? That's really the only thing that... was that Gonzalo?
This is the thing, Benny. When you're scheduled to fight a 12-round fight, now he's a mandatory, but maybe it was before it was for 10, but now let's say it's for 12. You got to pace yourself to where you got something in the tank, and you're going to divvy up, you're going to compartmentalize.
That's right.
What you can throw down, when you can throw down, let's think Canelo. If he gets tired and he throws something down fucking GG's way, GGG takes it. Can he fucking throw the same thing down his way the next round?
Exactly.
So we're still fucking lively, and he's still fucking he's still in there for the long run. Sometimes you have to think about the long game. Now, this is a 10-round fight. That dude knocked him out in 9. Fucking Usyk got dropped in 8. He did it faster than what Crawford did, but he still dropped him within 10 rounds. He's not even thinking about 12 rounds. Now he's a fucking mandatory where this was a 12-round fight, but he dropped them within 10. So if he's thinking of compartmentalizing and divvying up his fucking gassing to go for the 12 rounds, to go for the long haul, that dude still said, hey, if you're fucking wily and you're crafty and you're slippery where I'm fucking touching your body and you're stronger and you're tougher than what you seem you are, and now that I went to the body, I'm fucking beating you down and I'm taking you out. Hey, guess what? I got you out of there. But let's say fucking McKinson, but this is the reason I'm saying this to say that. What if McKinson is not fucking out of there? What does it say he survives? Does Vergil Ortiz still got the gas tank to go 19, 11, and 12? Yes and no, but then again, he still fucking pulled the trigger. As far as like where my stamina, I'm not gonna divvy that up. I'm gonna fucking try to expose you and fucking go to town on you to where I'm a fucking bank on the fact that I do have stamina and I'm that fucking little engine that's gonna press the fucking gas tank and try to knock you out there whether I get tired or not.
Well, like at the end of the day, like you're saying, look, listen, it's a 12-round championship fight. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And we've seen when it can happen with guys like when Munguia against that Irish dude. I forget his name already, but he was chasing him around.
What you gotta understand is that whether I can knock you out or
Hogan,
not,
that was his name, Hogan.
Hogan. Whether I can knock you out or I believe that I can. Therefore, I'm banking on myself, right? You're right.
Well, let me ask Jimmy. Let me ask you this, man. Crawford was in the crowd, and they asked Ortiz afterwards, "Would you be willing to fight Crawford?" He goes, "Well, listen, I know he's a little tied up, but if he comes down to it, I'm willing to fight." Why didn't they bring Crawford in there? What do you think is? If you had to speculate, why do you think they have him there? Do you think that fight is more realistic than the Spence fight?
Oh well, it's bad optics. It's bad optic. It's like. What it does, it'd be like fans would be like, think about it today on Twitter, everywhere would have been like, well, the Spence fight isn't happening at all. Because if you would have went in there and started talking about fighting him, that would have been it. And then Spence might have been you never know, right? Spence might have been like, oh, fuck him. I don't need to fight him. Because remember, Spence is the one who's already said he is completely fine, totally all right if he never fights him. His career, he's happy with it. So, you know what I mean? Like, it was the right thing not to do, not to go in there, because at least it shows that's what I'm singularly focused on knocking Spence out. And and I think the more the time goes by, they're both getting older. But I'm thinking, I feel more and more Spence is gonna lose. I mean, Crawford's gonna beat him good. But anyways, that's another show if they do fight.
Hey, and Jimmy, the only thing that I say when you pink on yourself is because he's still keeping the knockout streak alive. It's counting. It's not about Ortiz, or it's not about Duran Ednes. It's not about fucking what is it, Errol Spence's record or Terrence Crawford. It's about Ortiz actually. Yeah,
right. And to be honest with you, dude, and again, I'm a huge Vergil Ortiz fan. I kind of want to see that knockout streak just go away. I do. I just all right. If he can, what? I mean, obviously, if he can do it, then break all the records. But other than that. It just puts pressure on the young man to do it. Every time he goes out, knocks a dude out, it just, in the back of his head. And that's the type of dude. You can tell he's an emotional cat. He likes the praise. Every human does. We're all driven by our insecurities. Nobody wants to see themselves bad-mouthed. Just because you have money and what you do for a living, you do it in front of people, you're still people. And everybody thinks the same way. Nobody wants to get ripped up. And so he carries that. It just puts more pressure on him. And I think, and again, my biggest problem with this kid has always been headhunting and throwing everything at the same speed. And the guys like Terrence Crawford, I don't know so much. Again, I can't say Boots because he's never faced anybody with that power yet, but he's got the talent and skill-wise. But definitely Crawford, he's going to get used to that. Believe it or not, you get used to it. You get used to the speed. You get used to the concussive power of it. Your body gets used to it. If you don't change it up, you've got to change the power up. And he has been. I'm not saying he didn't last night. I saw a couple of throwaway punches last night. I really liked them. They were just, they more line him up punches to keep in distance. He wasn't doing that a few fights ago. Everything he was whipping because he was trying to take everybody's heads off. You know what I mean? So he is maturing in that way. And by the way, what I said about him was the same stuff. Did you guys hear him at the press conference and whatnot? He says he didn't do anything right the first 7 rounds. It wasn't until he finally listened to his corner, which shows maturity. At the same token, it shows you didn't have the maturity not to listen to him for the first 6 or the first 7 either. But again, that's probably because he wanted to knock the dude out.
Did he ever say why he left Robert Garcia?
Yeah, he gave some nebulous response on that, but they're never going to tell you the truth, dude. You know what I mean? It was a classy thing. He's not combative. I would think, honestly, it's probably the father. Probably the father felt like he was encroached upon. Anytime you get a father in the corner, he's always going to want the final say. And, you know, they'll go into a relationship. I'm the second. I know that. We're hiring you to train him. But trainers will tell you, okay.
Well, the truth is that Robert Garcia went with Bam Rodriguez when he faced Maloney or not, Joshua Franco, the brother. And he didn't go with Vergil Ortiz when he fought fucking Kavaliuskas. So he had 2 assignments. And he tried to make it back to he tried to make it back to he tried to make it back to Vergil Ortiz, but he tried to catch a chopper, but the hours couldn't align to where he tried to catch a helicopter and he couldn't. So he didn't go back to Vergil Ortiz when he fought fucking Cavaliers because he was busy with Joshua Franco when he fought fucking Maloney.
But I would venture to say that there was already the writing on the wall by then, because if it wasn't, there's no way Garcia would have went with the young kid, because the young kid, especially back then, would have been like, oh, I totally understand, coach, you know what I mean, or whatever he calls him. You know, Garcia's, you know, he's a contender. He's right there at the world champion. You know what I mean? His name's bigger. Obviously, the younger cat would have understood that. So to pick the younger guy, that's telling you a veteran, who's not a veteran, but the bigger name of the two, where your priorities lie. And there's no way he wouldn't have done that. That's the first time I knew there was problems in the relationship. That night he did that, because otherwise he wouldn't have.
But that's what I'm saying. Is he really fixing the fucking problem? Because now he's got Manny Garcia, Manny Robles, but he's not even fucking mentioning Manny Robles. He's mentioning his dad. There's a lot of fucking players in the fucking corner.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many cooks in the kitchen, Gonzalo.
Yeah, that's right.
But
that's right.
Hey, but Gonzalo, what do you think about Manny Robles as a trainer? Because you mentioned it, and I still haven't found it, by the way. But it wouldn't surprise me if it's true, because the fact that you speculated that Robles was complaining about Garcia taking away his fighters, and it seems like that's always what happens. It's almost like, or was that Joel Diaz? No, I think it was Joel Diaz. Either way,
it was Joel Diaz. It's Joel Diaz, and who took away Vergil Ortiz from Robert Garcia. But no. Robert Garcia has been doing the dirt with all these guys. Well, he's been taking fighters away from for a lot of people, and I'm not just saying that he. But is he really taking? Diaz called him out on a fucking podcast.
Yeah, I still want to find that, man. You need to find that clip for me, man, because I want to see it. But is it really Robert Garcia taking away? Because it's one thing for guys to leave a trainer and say, "Yeah, I'm going with the better or the more prestigious trainer," or is it really Robert Garcia breaking the trainer code and going behind the scenes up to fighters saying, "Hey, man, I could train you better than this guy"? What do you guys think? I know we're just speculating here, but have you guys heard anything about that? Yeah.
I don't think Garcia is old school. His father raised him right in the game. His father's, is the real brains behind that boxing outfit. That old man instilled a lot of good habits, and he raised him right. He's not that type of dude. He's not going to do that. Whatever the code would be, he would be the type of dude who would stick to that. But because they're not under contract, who's to say if he saw him out one night at a wedding for some reason, they were all there together. He was like, "Hey, if you ever have problems, man, come over." But the reason why you don't do that, a couple of reasons. Karma, because it can be done to you, and that is kind of a code. Don't fucking, don't mess with my fighters. So I would think that he wouldn't want it done to him, and he doesn't strike me as the type who would do it. Let's just put it that way.
Well, as far as the trainer, you kind of get you get thick skin, like you're also exposed to what happened to you against Andy Ruiz happening to you again. So you kind of develop, this can be expected. Andy Ruiz did it to fucking Manny Robles. Now, Manny Robles, sometimes it rains, sometimes it shines. He's getting called to assignment where now it's fucking, there's a blessing on him, right? But at the same time, it happened to Manny Robles with fucking Andy Ruiz, right?
Now, can I ask you guys? You guys probably know more about Manny Robles than I do. I've heard good things about him and bad things. Now, as a whole, does he usually train guys with power, like power punchers and whatnot? Is that like his specialty? What would you say his niche as a trainer?
From what I understand, he trains all types of fighters. He was actually having a good run at one point. We had Andy Ruiz, I think, and he had Oscar Valdez, and he had somebody else, man. Fuck, I forget. But yeah, I mean, listen, when you go ahead,
after Andy Ruiz, after Andy Ruiz, he took the what's that dude that fought Anthony Joshua? I walk like a king, King Charles
Martin.
Whatever his name.
Charles Martin.
No, so he'll take on all assignments if he can help you. He will. It's not just only Mexican style. It's not just like the lower divisions. He'll train fucking heavyweights, right?
Now, but you know what's interesting though about that? Because it reminds me that some people might say, "Well, fucking Manny Robles couldn't keep Andy Ruiz in shape for the biggest fight of his life, or the second biggest fight of his life against Anthony Joshua." But look, a trainer can only do so much with a fighter. Even the most hard-headed trainer or the most respected trainer, if the guy doesn't want to train, he won't train. I was listening to the Eric Morales podcast. He had Nacho Beristain on, the legend, 33 years old now. And he said, look, when I trained Chavez Jr., when I was training Chavez Jr., I couldn't get anything done with the guy. So that if that's Don Nacho, who doesn't take shit from anybody, telling you he couldn't get this guy to do the things properly, hey, listen, sometimes you're dealing with fighters, lazy fighters, and there's nothing you can do. What are you going to do? You're going to whip him? You're going to lash him?
Robles, he actually called Ruiz out on it too, though.
That's right.
It wasn't like he was quiet on it. If he would have been quiet on it, that would have been one thing. But the fact he said, listen, he wasn't working. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. Well, I respect that.
When you get to that level, you don't expect the motherfucker to babysit you, right? And I'm not criticizing your comment, or I'm not talking down on Andy Ruiz, because once you get to that level, it's on you, man. It's on Andy Ruiz's career should have been a lot more, to where he would have made double the money that he's making now. But this is a route that they decided to take, him and his father. So now that they're in the position they are now, because that's the route that they decided to take. I'm gonna double down on that.
Yeah.
And who am I to fucking really say that or criticize that? What is a lack of confidence in the PBC or their fucking fighting style? They never thought they were gonna win a fucking rematch against. It's a game of inches. It's not only a game of inches. Stylistically, man, it's about the moves that you fucking make. That it's like fucking chess, and before you fucking make that move, you're questioning yourself. But that's the route they win. Now, what's really going on behind the moves that they're making?
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Hey, listen, Ruiz versus Ortiz, don't be surprised if it goes a distance, man, because Ruiz fights at an old man's pace. He fights at an old man's pace. So I'm intrigued by that fight. I won't be buying it. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to watch it, but suffice to say, I won't pay for it. But hey, moving on to... so Ortiz, listen, at the end of the day, I think people are saying, I don't know if he's ready. Some people are saying he's ready for the top dogs. Look, to my mind, if he gets a shot at or Crawford or Spence or whatever, take it. Yeah, fuck ready or not. He's already looked good against some of the decent opposition he's fought, punchers and now movers. But throw him in there against Crawford. Sink or swim. Same thing if he gets a shot at Spence.
The reason why it probably won't happen, though, is because of Golden Boy. I mean, just look at the way he's been, matching some of his guys, and because he's a shell of what he used to be, especially once Canelo left. And now, right now, Vergil Ortiz, Garcia, those are his two big guys. And bam, right? So he would be honestly kind of crazy to do that. But what he should do is like what you said, get him another fight, though, if he can't make that one right away, because it would only behoove him to get more rounds in. Because he's already been out for a year. The ring rust doesn't have to always be physical. Ring rust, a lot of it's mental, and I think that's where it affected him. He wasn't listening to his coach. He kept fucking trying to do what he wanted to do, and you know what I mean? So that could be attributed to ring rust too.
But that's what I'm saying, Jimmy. I think that's a blessing in disguise, right? Because he did get the rounds in, kind of like without you thinking of it, without mentioning what he should have done or not done. All of a sudden, he got the rounds in. He got fucking 9 rounds in, and he had to dig down to the body. He had to burn the midnight oil, and eventually he still got the knockout. So he did good for that. No.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I understand. Rounds is round sparring and there's rounds fighting are completely different. And always rounds fighting are good, especially with the cardio. You keep your second win. You learn things about yourself. But if he, to his own admission, did nothing right in the first 7 rounds, are those rounds really any good? If you just all you're doing is creating bad habits? Because remember, boxing is, as you know, dude, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, is reactionary. You know what I mean? You don't even fucking think. I mean, I've seen boxers 3 sheets to the wind can barely stand up and all of a sudden throw crazy looking combos because they just do it so much, you know? So it's just reactionary. It becomes a part of you. So you want to, that's what I mean. Get him back in there right away and string together 9 good rounds, dominating rounds, because you did everything you wanted to do, not things that you were just you're reacting to what was in front of you. Like, control it more, you know what I mean? And then go in with more confidence. Because if you're saying I'm sorry to cut you off, Kanza, I'm just going to finish this. If you're saying you fought 8 rounds, that 9 rounds, it was out in the first second. He walked out and hit him. It was done. But because the kid called in the father right there to throw the towel, he gave him the look. There was 2 separate looks. We'll get into that after. Actually, I just got somebody sent me a tweet. It's awesome. He responded to what I made. But anyways, yeah. So my point is the 7 rounds. Yes. What's that, brother?
Vergil Ortiz opponents now, they know that motherfucker's getting for the knockout. Don't be surprised and don't underestimate the fact that you think that the Vergil Ortiz is not going for the knockout. No, the motherfucker hit hard. The opponents are knowing that, right, Jimmy? They know that this fucking yeah.
But you know what, though?
Continue the fucking knockout streak alive, and let me fucking get the 1920 KO. I'm breaking records along the fucking realm of fucking Edwin Valero, 23. So the blueprint may be out there, maybe not, but the dude's fucking coming to crack, and this is what these dudes are seeing. I'm not gonna fucking I'm not gonna let my body like relax. I'm gonna tense my body up because this dude is fucking cracking, and this is what's keeping this dude's alive. Like McKinson, I tell you what, man.
I tell you what, though, I don't think Ortiz cares about the 20th knockout. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong, because he said earlier in the week that he's not looking for the knockouts in the fights. He's just, if the knockout comes, it comes. I think that's what he said, and that should be the right mentality. But hold on, let me just say. I know. But what I'm saying is that if that is the way he's doing it, then that is the way anybody should do it. Because it reminds me of Jose Luis Castillo. He would go in there and he would never get tired or rarely get tired and just beat the crap out of people. And he wasn't looking for the knockout. He was looking to beat the crap out of people. And that's what Ortiz should do. Say, listen, if the knockout comes, it comes. But if it doesn't, I'm beating the shit out of you for as long as it goes. That's the mentality he should have.
And BDA, I just want to finish that one point real quick. What I was getting at was, if I was thinking as his trainer, as people handling him, I'd want him at the end of the fight going in against Boots or or TC, anybody, I'd want him to say at the end of the fight, oh, I felt great, man. I had a great night. Everything felt great. I'd want him so confident about what he just did, because boxing, as you guys know, is a mental game too. And if he knows in the back of his head he did a lot of bad things in there, again, it's not saying he can't correct them or he wouldn't correct them. I'm just saying, as a trainer, you want him to get together in there. And it doesn't, even if it goes the distance, it doesn't matter. If he goes in and does everything you trained for, and he did everything correct, he threw the correct punches when he was supposed to, he controlled his distance, he didn't leave himself hanging, overshooting his punches, he controlled his aggression. And the second thing I want to say, I think this just proves my thing. The father relationship is a tricky one in the corner, because he can be claimed to be a second, but at the end of the day, the father's voice is always the one that's going to be heard if he's talking. I'm done.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Mr. MX Wakandan Tax Collector for rejoining the BD membership program, or re-extending the BD membership program. So shout out to Wakandan Tax Collector. And he says, BD Boxing, the Kangs of Wakanda. Well, I don't know if we want that title there, Wakandan Tax Collector, but you are certainly the tax collector. That's for sure. You collect every fucking week. That's for sure. Shout out to Mr. Wakandan Tax Collector. Look, at the end of the day with Ortiz, there was room for criticism, but he ended up taking out a guy that was elusive, undefeated. He was out for a year or more than a year, Ortiz, and he got the job done. And, people that think that he's going to look this eager to get the knockout in every fight, rewatch the Maurice Hooker and Kavalewska's fight, and you will see a different fighter. We're going to open up the phone line soon.
But Jimmy, you're absolutely. We saw there's a little bit of like a chip on the shoulder When it comes to Vergil Ortiz and the father was saying, "Why didn't you give me the credit when I wanted to visit your mother in fucking Texas like 4 or 5 years ago?" He was saying, he was calling that little Vergil out. "Oh, I'm your fucking daddy. I'm your fucking daddy. Pay respect to me." The motherfucker said he's a nuisance. That motherfucker's a nuisance. Fucking Vergil Ortiz Sr. I'm going to say it right now. He's a fucking nuisance.
All right,
he's getting into that dude's fucking career in the fucking middle of it.
You know what? Gonzalo might have a point. I'm gonna watch some interviews if I can find him of if he does give him of Ortiz Senior. See what he says.
I like it. No, I was just saying I like it, Gonzalo. Hot take. Bring in the fire.
All right, let's move on to the Blair Cobbs fight on the undercard because let me tell you, I want to start with this one, man. This guy, Blair Cobbs. You know, we get spoiled when we watch boxing on TV because we're seeing the best of the best. Most people don't understand that. Most people look at fighters on TV and they think, oh, that's just a normal fighter. Listen, there's thousands of fighters that want to get the opportunity to fight on TV, and most of them can't get it. There's levels to boxing. Blair Cobbs should not be fighting on TV. Now, some people are saying, yeah, but he's entertaining. Well, okay, he's entertaining outside the ring with his whole shtick and his spiel of fucking trash talking. But inside the ring, he just doesn't cut it. You saw what happened against Roca. This time, he did make some adjustments. He got rid of the afro. You don't want to walk in there with a big-ass afro because every time you get touched in the head, it moves like a giant tree, and it looks like you're having your head snapped back. That's not good with the judges. So he got the cornrows in there. Shout out to him for dropping, what's his name, Hooker and getting the job done. But fuck, he should have stopped Hooker. Hooker looked shot in there. He did not look like the guy. Even when he lost to Ortiz and Ramirez, he looked better. Here he looked, timing was off, slow feet. You know, he looked like he was gonna cry at some point. This guy drops him 3 times. It seemed like every time he caught him clean, every time Cobbs caught him clean, he could have stopped him. Then he ran out of gas. One-dimensional, doesn't know. But hold on. Doesn't know how to put pressure on the guy. See, that's why when people go, "Oh, it's hard to fight off the back foot," that's the hard. No, fuck it. I'll say it again. Fighting going forward while remaining defensively responsible and breaking a guy down is more difficult than staying on the back foot, running around, and trying to run a guy in with one shot. It doesn't endear you with the fans. It doesn't help you with the judges. And this guy could have very easily lost the fight. If Hooker would have had a little bit more, an ounce more of timing on his punches, he could have fucking caught Cobbs. Both guys were there for the taking. And Cobbs really shit the bed, especially in the last 2 rounds, running around, fucking shit in the bed. It was boring. He should have stopped Hooker. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, it's true because he was giving Hooker, he was allowing the goofy fucking dude that got no chin all of a sudden. The dude's not. The Hooker is fucking a joke, man. Especially training with Crawford and Crawford saying, "Oh, this guy's the man. No, he's a beast. No, he's nothing, dude." And he's giving that goofy motherfucker the chance to plant his fucking feet and land that fucking the wire right hand that he doesn't want to throw. But he's giving him the rounds for fucking Blair Cobbs to get his fucking You see, the thing with Blair Cobbs, he's gonna tell the 2 fighters, if you're fucking so nervous and you're so fucking going back to Whitey again, and you're so fucking nervous that you don't want to get caught there, you're fucking Keith Thurman 2.0, and you're jumping off the fucking ball of your fucking feet. Guess what, dude? If you have power in the first tell of your fucking fight, and the sense that you can fucking hurt somebody in the first half of a fight, fucking throw with power and get the fucking job done before you end up looking like a fucking raccoon. Because you ended up looking like a fucking raccoon because that's what happened to you because you allowed the fight to fucking continue. Right? He could have fucking ended the fight within the first 6-7 rounds.
Absolutely.
What I think happened with Hooker, I think what's going on with Hooker, he's one of those dudes, you've heard Steve talk about it on the show. He's heard, and he knows of fighters like that who are just great gym rats, great fighters. They give great sparring, right? But it's a mental thing to get under the lights and people are watching. And if they do one thing wrong, sometimes it just shakes them for the night. And when he got dropped, it sucked the life out of him. And on top of that weight coming in heavy, his body looks soft. I think his legs, so he physically probably felt like shit. He mentally was checked out after he took that big shot, and he respects Crawford so much. You can tell he worships Crawford, right? And I'm telling you, he's sitting in the corner in his head. I'm fucking letting him down. I'm letting him down. And getting on himself. Because I've seen the kid spar. He can take a shot. We've seen him fight Ortiz. Kid has heart. You know what I mean? He's I think it was the combination of he gets in his own fucking head. He performs better because it's loose and relaxed in the gym, and he's there with his buddies, and it's a totally different atmosphere. And I'm telling you, I think it was that, the combination of weight, and having Terrence in the corner, I think, put stress on him. Because you can tell the kid worships him, and he's probably like, fucking, I'm letting him down. And so, yeah, and Blair caught him with a lucky shot. I mean, he was training for that punch because Hooker keeps himself up tall. So he was probably training that punch, and he winged it, and he caught him. But yeah, I mean, he was lunging in and grabbing and shit. I mean, you weren't going to fucking, that wasn't a unification match where I can't lose this last round. You know what I mean? So I got to get these belts to avoid all chance of a fight. I mean, to do that, you're not endearing yourself to the crowd. I mean, to boxing, and especially with the shit you already pulled.
And Jimmy, the whole time I'm thinking, way to fuck up a wet dream when you got a barn burner. Way to fuck up a fucking barn burner. When that dude's fucking, that fight's pitted and all the signs are on the wall that this is going to be a fucking exciting fight. All of a sudden, how can you fucking ruin that wet fucking dream? Or what? I don't know. I'm speaking fucking like nonsense, but this is true.
A little bit.
That shit could have been exciting. And it wasn't. And they fucking ruined it. And the crowd was hooting and hollering. And they were showing their displeasure, right, BDA? They were showing their displeasure. And it could have been exciting the whole time.
Chazar in the Discord went to the fight, and he said that you could hear the boos more live than in the telecast. Because in the telecast they play with the fucking equalizer and everything with the crowd, but you could hear that. Yeah, they were booing him in the last 2 rounds. He should have stopped Hooker. I'm telling you, Hooker was there to be taken out. Jimmy, I disagree. I don't think it was a lucky shot because he dropped him 3 times. I mean, once might. Well,
the first shot he caught him with, he wasn't even looking. His face was facing the canvas, and I think that shot is what rocked him. And again, then it became a mental thing for Hooker. He was second guessing himself. It wasn't until he got loose. Remember at the 6th, like he started getting loose, started actually fainting and throwing jabs. So it's like it took him rounds. I'm telling you, he gets in his own fucking head. And that's what Crawford said. Yeah, his head's not in the fight right now, and that's probably been fighting's a mental game too. And some guys are good at it, and some guys aren't. That's just another of the attributes you have to be that guy.
And, and if you look at the 2 corners, you're allowing Blair Cops to doubt himself. Blair Cops, all of a sudden, when you give that dude the opportunity to feel more comfortable, and he gets more brazen. All of a sudden, Hooker, he's fucking touching down on his feet to where he's gaining the distance, and all of a sudden, he's not only being like the one that's bullied, he's the fucking bully. I'm laying down on my wire right hand. I'm getting the distance, and I'm dropping the hammer on the fucking wire right hand. All of a sudden, what happened to Blair Cops? He's fucking running for dear life. Why? Because that dude's fucking getting confident that he's landing the fucking wire right hand. Why do you want to make him believe and get him comfortable to that's where he's touching you with that punch?
Yeah, I mean he just let there's such a thing as losing momentum in a fight, and he just let go of the momentum. Something awful. Real quick, want to give a shout out to Tony Boswell for his contribution with the re-extending the membership program. Shout out to Tony Boswell for rejoining the membership program. Glad to have you on board, Tony. Thanks again, a million. Shout out to Wakandan Tax Collector. Says Southpaw 773's dad, Darth Sanchez, said that Felipe was number 50. I don't know who Darth Sanchez or Felipe are, but shout out to Wakanda Tax Collector, and shout out to Rafael Garza for his contribution via the super chat. He says Hooker and Crawford son camotes. Oh, wait a minute. You can't be talking that way. But shout out to Rafael Garza. Yeah, I mean, listen, can I say something about that?
Yes,
about
you
the
can.
Crawford thing. Gonzalo said something interesting earlier about too many cooks in the kitchen with the Ortiz Jr. thing. I gotta tell you, I know Hooker and Crawford might have a special relationship, blah blah blah, but to have the fighter come in from the crowd jump all the way into the corner and start giving the guy instructions. I mean, isn't that what Bomac's supposed to be there? I tell you, Bomac is having the same thing happen to him that Vergil Hunter had. He's having the Vergil Hunter effect where, because he has one guy that's top 2 or top 3 pound for pound, all of a sudden all these other guys go to him and go, I just don't think he's that good. He's almost like even Eddie Reynoso, I think, is better than him. Because he was also having the Vergil Hunter effect a little bit. But I mean, why would you bring in the fighter? Because, okay, I understand what some people are going to say. Some people are going to say, well, it's, he just had their Crawford for moral support. But Crawford was doing all the talking at some point. And Bomac was just standing to the side. Jimmy, what do you think about that? Is that...
Oh, you're so right, dude. You're so right. Because on top of that, look at, it's bad optics in the fact that if he's in your corner, if he's your corner guy, right? Put on a fucking shirt like everybody else, a hooker shirt. Be your corner guy. Don't go out there with your fucking Rolex, dude. You're like you're pimping, and then you're just up in the, let me take over, Bomac. Move the fuck over. You don't know what you're doing. It also could be because Bomac knows. It's obvious that my kid has Crawford worship going, and, so he probably's like, this kid can get through to him better than I could. He'll listen more to Crawford. But then again, that doesn't bode well for Bomac. That you have to say, you know what I mean? Like, I got to fucking get you in here, dude. Talk to this kid. He's not listening. But if I remember correctly, I think Crawford jumped up. Well, it was even up because obviously he got dropped in the first round. And I think that probably kind of shocked Crawford up a little. And Bomac probably at least got to give him his props where he knew his limitations. And if he knows that Crawford could reach him more than him. But again, I think being Crawford in the corner talking to him, because just go back and watch the fight. Just even fast forward, just in between rounds. Bomac's talking to him, and I don't even think he even would look up to him or like look at him. But Crawford's saying something. He's trying to turn around and look at him, going, "Yeah, okay, yeah, okay." Like you could tell he was listening for Crawford. And again, that's just he's not your trainer, dude, Bomac, and maybe that just played more into his fucking psyche, So. I don't know. Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think it was a good thing.
Well, yeah,
I think it was a desperate look.
Like Reese Mack in the chat says, if you get the best pound for pound fighter giving advice, I might let him speak for a moment. Yeah, that's my problem though. A moment. Okay. He was doing all the talking. I mean, was this a special case, an exceptional case where the guy's so completely mentally fucked, Hooker, that you have to stop talking and bring in Crawford? Maybe. But it still doesn't bode well for Bomac that he hasn't really had any success with any other fighter. I mean, listen, I know being a trainer it's an ephemeral thing to a certain extent. At one point, you're going to be on top of the world, then your fighters start losing. Listen, fighters lose. You can't be at the top forever. But I just think Bomac is, like Eddie Reynoso and Vergil Hunter, a little overrated because of the fact that they had one pound-for-pound fighter, and then everyone else thinks, oh, well, that match is going to rub off on me.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a lure to his name. Because remember that the coach for fucking, the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out's Little Mac, it was Bomac. And you got that fat dude that was riding the bicycle, and it kind of tells you that you don't have to be so fucking fit to, like, be a good trainer. When you're a fat dude, it kind of gets you, like, cool points. Oh, that motherfucking fat dude is a fucking boxing coach. But this is going back to, like, let's discover this motherfucker. No, I'm not saying that it ain't cute. It's fucking cute. He's a fucking boxing trainer. But the dude is garbage. It's not about fucking being cute or not.
That's right.
It ain't making no sense to me.
It ain't making no sense to me either, man. Now, I tell you what, though.
Tyson's Punch-Out. It ain't Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Well, even I mean, when Mannix, they go to the corner to get a word with the trainer, right, in between rounds. Mm-hmm. Because when he first mentioned go to that corner, he talked about, I ran into Crawford. I just talked to Crawford. And, it's like, okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I can understand, especially if you got dropped the first round. Crawford, is juiced up, runs up there. Hey, listen, blah, blah, blah. But then back the fuck off, dude. Don't be taking it over,
How does Bomac,
it is what it is. He just blew his career, but he did that with the weight too. He says, oh yeah, that's right. He did say he didn't sleep. He was so in his own head. He couldn't sleep. He didn't sleep. Like he had a hard time sleeping the last couple of weeks, and that affected his weight. Yeah, so there you go. Man,
listen,
I think he was sluggish as fuck.
Yeah, he didn't look good. And again, this doesn't bode well either for Cobbs. He should have stopped him. He was right there for the picking. Now, in regards to Cobbs, he's cannon fodder. He's cannon fodder for anybody. First of all, he's already in his 30s. He's not a young man. I mean, in boxing standards, he's gonna get taken out by somebody that actually has.
This way, BDA. Hope he didn't go to bed last night. I hope he let that last as long as it could, because it's never going to get any better for him in boxing. So I hope he enjoyed it.
The thing that his demons, what he's toiling with inside the ring, that he senses that it's impending doom. The punch is coming, but it wasn't coming from fucking Maurice Hooker. When the dude is bringing the fucking heat, that dude's gonna be on the fucking back foot, and he's gonna be having that impending doom sensation, and he's gonna get fucking stopped. Because what you wish, going back to BDA, to the second round, is what you fucking speak it, believe it, receive it. You think it's coming, it's fucking coming. It's fucking coming. You're getting knocked the fuck out. If that's what you believe.
That's right. That's right.
Whether you want to be fucking Charlie Chaplin or not in the fucking ring and fucking sidestep or dance the fucking tango, I don't know, but it's fucking coming.
Yeah, and he don't like getting hit. That kid Cobbs at all.
Mm-hmm.
He was treating fucking Hooker like he was Mike Tyson. I mean, my God, he was panicked about taking a shot. So he knows his chin is doesn't. You know what I mean? You don't fight like that in the 12th round. You don't. I mean, he was laying in. It was like laying in. You know what I mean? When they pray, what do they spray and pray? He wasn't even paying attention. Just wing some shots and then fucking dot out of there. Like he did not want to get hit.
That shows me two things. It's not like Tony Harrison, where they tell two fighters. Tony Harrison understands that he gotta divvy up his gas tank. He gotta compartmentalize the fucking fight. It's just like Canelo. We're gonna fight one round in, one round out. No, this guy, he's losing his fucking marbles. I'm saying, I'm fucking done. I cannot contest. Who did he lose against the last fight? Against a pressure fighter. When I have this sensation that fucking the dude is coming for me, let me get my marbles all over the place, where I'm trying to fucking run and trying to get tagged. But at the same time, I'm exposing myself to be limited in the sense that I don't got my boxing fucking know-how together. Because he doesn't. And that's where he gets exposed. Because people see that he's fucking, he's exposing himself.
Go ahead, Gonzalo. Good.
Jab for fucking 9 rounds. Why can't he jab for fucking 12 rounds? But the thing that with this dude is getting exposed because he doesn't know how to jab. That means he cannot fucking be there for the long haul. Therefore, he's fucking breaking apart, right? He's not keeping it together. And therefore, he doesn't believe in his chin. He's not steely. He's not wily. He's not fucking... When McKinson brought to the ring, he is not that. He's good. He got punching power for the first fucking 6 rounds. And that's why you said, and we mentioned it, get the motherfucker out of there. Because you only can play fucking ball for 6 games. Do it when you can. And when you cannot, your corner is stupid.
Yeah,
because,
man, listen, I mean, at the end of the day, neither of these guys, Hooker, he had an interesting career, but he just couldn't quite cut it mentally. That's what happens in boxing, man. It just exposes, I mean, when I say expose, I mean, it brings forth, it's you're under a microscope when you're in the ring. You cannot, if you have some faults, they're going to show up at some point. And at this point, Hooker, good little career, but you just don't know if he's going to be able to bounce back from this. With Cobbs, the future doesn't look bright for him, but hey, good for him. He got the win last night. He can crack a little bit. He's got good athleticism, but I think he's a cannon fodder for any top welterweight out there. Now, shout out to Wakandan Tax Collector for his contribution with the super chat. He says the Zone's new series Crack featuring Felipe, hosted by Triple G. I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. But shout out to Wakandan Tax Collector. And go check out his channel too, by the way. He's got a good channel that he does compilations of clips that he finds from around the internet of people saying weird stuff.
When it comes to the coaches, do you not want to exploit and benefit since you have that wily fucking power like Blair Cobbs and the explosiveness? Use it while you can, no? Use it while you can.
Exactly, go for it, man. He's running around waiting for the perfect shot. See, this is why I don't. He turned into a back foot bitch. Let's just that was. If anybody's still confused about the term back foot bitch, watch the last 2 rounds of the Cobbs Hooker fight. You will see a back foot bitch in there. A guy that doesn't know how to fight, that doesn't know how to fight going forward or doesn't want to. Either way, back foot bitch all the way.
And it's like the movie with Chessman Material, Wasted Talent. Because you have the fucking fast twitch. Motherfucker, not everybody's born with that, BD, right or wrong. Not everybody's born with the fast twitch. When you have it, fucking take advantage of it. I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right, listen, we've got the phone lines open, so if anybody wants to call in, make sure you do that. Do we even want to talk about the Michael Collin fight? That was, he wasn't exactly back foot bitching it, but man, he wasn't throwing shots in there against Marliaga. I mean, it was a good comeback fight. He did get his ass knocked out of the ring in the last fight, Michael Collin, so good for him for coming back, but I don't know what more we can say. Did anyone want to say anything about that fighter?
No, I don't watch his fights. I just don't. He does nothing for me, dude. He has no power. He is what he is.
It just goes to show you when you're fighting a southpaw, because Marliaga was waiting. One right hand. You look at Lee Wood, chin up in the air, might not be the best technical fighter out there, but shit, he goes in there, he puts combos together against Conlon, right hand, left hook, right hand to the body, left hand upstairs again, just mixing it up, and he was able to get Conlon out of there. You got to take chances. You got to string those combos together. Don't forget, hey, fellas, we got the phone lines open. Phone lines are open, so if you want to call in, the phone number is in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. Make sure you call in. And listen, let us know. Question of the day. Call in and let us know. Is Vergil Ortiz ready for Crawford-Spence? If not, why not? Let us know. Because my contention is, fuck it. If he gets a chance to fight either of them, make it happen. I know promoters, blah, blah, blah. Forget about that. We're talking theoretically. If he gets the chance to fight him, fight him. That's where I'm at.
Theoretically, I have to say that the promoters know, because they're smart motherfuckers that taught the Bove and the ESPN and what is that? The dude fucking the Golden Boy. What is that? Robert Diaz. They're smart motherfuckers. They knew that this dude was fucking tough, McKinson, because he's got the fucking steely, he's wily, he's fucking crafty. And Robert, it's Vergil Ortiz. He had been inactive. He still kept the fucking knockout streak alive. Not everybody can. Are we getting into the rarefied air? Criticize the motherfucker, but he's still getting the knockouts.
That's
what
right.
What do you say about that? Anybody?
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right, Gonzalo. Right on the money. When Gonzalo's on the money, he's on the money. I've said it before. I'll say it again.
And it's kind of fucking sour because I'm on Boots. I'm a Boots fan. Have been. But for anybody to sit there and act like he's accomplished more than Ortiz, that they're high. Ortiz has faced the better competition. Kaluskis is better than anybody. Hits harder than anybody Boots has fought. And again, that's the one question mark at Boots. I mean, everybody says it, no matter who they are. They know that's the one thing he hasn't been cracked. We've seen Ortiz take a big shot from Kaluskis, who can crack. And he fucking can't.
That motherfucker is dangerous. This is what I'm thinking. Remember when Miguel Cotto fought fucking Torres? He almost got knocked out. Yeah. When you can survive a knockout and you come back, oh my God, then you become the man after that. You're fucking the man. Vergil almost got knocked out by fucking Kaluskis, but he survived that, then he knocked out fucking Kaluskis. Now that's what the people want to see. When you're in the brink of fucking losing and you're survived, then all of a sudden you're the fucking man when you knock that dude that was going to fucking knock you out. And this is Torres. Yeah.
Well, this is said to back up Kaluskis as a power puncher. Think about who's the other guy he hurt, and who. Well, I'll say it. I'm not going to make this ain't school. I don't need to go school. You guys got Crawford. Think about it. Everybody says, "Oh, you hurt." Crawford was rocked, and I'm always like, I don't think you people realize how fucking hard Kaluskis hits. That fucking dude, that kid can look at him. He's a fucking powerhouse. I mean, that dude's got like wrists on him. Yeah, dude, he cracks. And so I didn't look at it as a negative when Crawford was rocked. I looked at it as a positive. He ate that shot, didn't go down. It was, you know what I mean? Or whatever, you know what I mean? But he survived it and he came back the way Vergil Ortiz did. So I'm saying you've already showed me, because I'll tell you right now, while he's fresh, first 6 rounds, Kaluskis hits every bit of hard, if not harder than Boots or fucking Terrence Crawford. Well, that's the reason why he was able to rock both Ortiz and Crawford, and nobody's ever rocked Crawford the way he did because he cracks.
You know what? Here's the thing.
He's a short puncher. He got a little T-Rex arms, but when you got that big of a chest, I'm gonna say I'm not the one that predicates on like big muscles when it comes, because I don't understand it too much. But I gotta say something. When you got a big muscle, you got a big chest, and you got big biceps, and you can hook and you can throw on the inside, it's gotta count for something, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And when it's a punch, it's your back. It's all your back. It's your triceps, your back, your lats, and your thighs. That's your punch, really. That's the muscles, really. So his back, he's got a wide, thick, muscular back. Kid's a powerhouse. He's a strong kid. He just doesn't, because of that muscle, takes so much more to oxygenate that you get tired faster than somebody who's got a little chub on them. They're going to get tired quicker because it's harder to put oxygen through muscle, and it takes more oxygen, more muscle you have. So that's part of the reason he always gasses out after 6 rounds. He's too muscular. But the plus side of that muscularity is that kid knows how to use it, and he can crack. And Ortiz took it, was rocked, and came back and stopped him. And Crawford took it. So I already know that there's nobody in the division I worry about them getting sparked out by. Because they took Kavaluskas' shots.
Yeah, here's the thing. Ennis took a shot, and I played it earlier, took a shot from Lipinets, overhand right. You know, some people say, well, that Ennis does everything better than Ortiz. I disagree. I think, no doubt about it, Ortiz keeps his hands up, whereas Ennis doesn't. And not fighting a puncher can give you overconfidence. So, people talk about, well, if Ortiz were ever to fight Ennis is just too powerful for him. They're not talking about the power that's coming back from Ortiz. So now, going back to Ennis, though, he tweeted apparently that he's going to be fighting this year. And some people are saying that he could be stepping in against Crowley. What's his name? Not Aleister Crowley, but that Canadian dude that beat up the undefeated
kid.
Eastern European dude. So it's going to be interesting if he does fight him, because that guy can crack and he's a strong fella. And it's going to be it would be a good litmus test at this point for Ortiz. What he needs to do is, look, if he can't get anybody else before the end of the year, because again he didn't take too much damage last night other than the headbutt. Maybe as a tune-up fight, put him in there against Cobbs, just to see him take him out. Get a knockout at least before the end of the year, ended with a knockout. But the perfect fight for him right now, if he can't get any other top dogs, put him in there against Avanesian. Avanesian just upset a year ago, Josh Kelly, so he's got that momentum going. Put him in there against Ortiz. I think Ortiz takes him out. It wouldn't be the first time. Yeah.
You know what I like really, and it's crazy because this is what boxing was. You know who are the dangerous motherfuckers? They throw a punch out of nowhere. Let's say Avanesian fucking punches like fucking Vergil Ortiz all of a sudden, and surprises fucking puts Ennis. When the matchmakers thinking, oh, we can deal with this guy. It's okay. He's okay. We can deal with this guy. And I'm not saying that Ennis doesn't punch hard. But when you can deal with somebody and you can fucking punch hard, and you can take that dude because you can take his punch and you can fucking lay it back down to where, my punches are fucking knocking you out while yours are not, and this provides a test for me. But let's say all the fucking boots in get surprised by a guy that punched harder than fucking thought that both ever thought he could. Right or wrong. Yeah. I want to see those type of fucking fights.
Listen,
surprise me, matchmakers, losers.
And
that's losers in the world.
And that's not. And power wouldn't even be the way Boots would attack Ortiz. That wouldn't be his game plan. His game plan would be his length and his athleticism, and he would try to outbox him. It would be just defending, countering, Ortiz trying to sleep him. Ortiz has got a good high guard, good jab. If anybody thinks that Boots would have or Boots would go in there and take him out, they better rethink that. That's not even how, I guarantee you, how the fight would go. If Boots would win, it would be on points. There's no way. I don't think he stops Ortiz. That's not the way he would fight it. And because, again, it would be Ortiz looking to stop him. Because you're right. I mean, when he fought Lipinets, and Lipinets is on the smaller side for 140, and then he went up to 147. I mean, then it's night and day difference. We're talking punching power from him and Vergil Ortiz. Because remember, these guys have already been they've gone on a scale of 147, but they're in the ring that night. He was probably, I don't know if they do the 10-pound limit, but I'm sure he was at least 157. I mean, he's fucking a much, much bigger and tougher dude and punches a lot harder. So, yeah, it'd be a good test, this kid Crowley. If he does fight him, that shows me that he wants to answer that question for everybody. And again, I'm high on Boots, very high on him. I'm so much higher on this next crop of welterweights because of all the politician bullshit going on. Yeah. Politics and. But
hey, by the way, Rex in the chat says Tanionis versus Vergil Ortiz is the fight to make. Skinhead versus Essay. Well, listen, if we do see that fight, it's gonna be like being at the yard at Longpoke or Folsom. There you see that the fucking Essays and the Woods going at it all the time. No, actually, hey, Jimmy, do the Woods and the Essays, are they supposed to be allies or something? Like,
they do. Yes, the Peckerwoods and the fucking they do usually ally up.
Hey, remember that movie with Kevin Bacon? Where he fucking, the dudes kill his son and he's fucking on the warpath.
Well, yeah.
Real quick.
That's a good movie.
Let me rephrase that. In California, they have no choice. Nobody does. Mexican let's just say MMA, they that's their shit. They run that, no questions asked. Everybody, it's their house, and everybody does their thing within it. And that's
what about
a fact.
Paisas? What about the Mexican Paisas? Because I wasn't
Nothing.
the Mexican.
Nobody. They all answer the MMA. No questions asked.
But the Mexican Paisas are getting some clout. No, the Mexican Chuntis. The dude that called the fight in fucking the zone. What's that dude? The Mexican guy with the fucking part of his hair. He looked like Indio Murillo. Yeah, fucking. No, the Mexican. The Chuntis are getting some fucking clout, dude. We're something nowadays. No, us.
Yeah, man. People in the chat are asking what movie were you talking about, Gonzalo. It's called Death Sentence. It's a movie from 2007.
Sentence, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
The sentence, motherfuckers.
Well, a dead sentence, not dead sentence, motherfuckers. But yeah, it's dead sentence.
But if you gotta bone to people with somebody and you're fucking a little bit, you gotta watch something that like, hey man, I'm fucking pissed off at the world. That's the movie to watch somebody.
That's a movie. It's right up there in terms of style of going down. It's a vigilante.
Yeah, that's right up your alley. Let me kick your fucking balls. No. Let me fucking.
All right. Hey, by the way, we got a phone call here. Let's go to the phone lines. Don't forget, fellas, the phone lines are open. Hit the like, and the phone number is in the middle left-hand portion of your screen. Let's go to 231. 231. You're on the air. 231. What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, BDA? How's it going, panel members? Everybody, much love, much respect on this fine Sunday morning.
Wait a minute. Is this Black and Brown?
Hello?
Is this Black and Brown?
No,
hello?
No. This is Rolling with the Punches.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Black and Brown. Sounded like you. What's Rolling? What's up? Well, you might as well be Black and Brown. Every time you're on the Free Smoke Friday, man. What's up, man?
Hey, much love to Black and Brown, man, for sure. BBB. What's going on, BDA? All right, so I just quickly wanted to say, man, as far as one topic and like thought that I've been having for a while now, it's Vergil Ortiz. I feel like he's not getting enough respect or at least recognition or at least like some type of acknowledgement on how. Remember when Terrence Crawford told Vergil Ortiz that he wanted him to fight Mean Machine? I think it was Mean Machine, and then when he fought Mean Machine, then he could fight Vergil. Then he could fight Crawford. That's what Crawford had told Vergil, and Vergil was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll do it." And Vergil flat out like came out and said it in public and told everybody, like that's the reason why I fought him is because Bud told me to, basically. So I feel like, man, we that can't go completely overlooked, man. Like Vergil Ortiz deserves a lot of credit, man, a lot of love, a lot of praise for that, because that's a very strong thing to even admit, let alone go and do. Like I'm going to fight this opponent just because you told me to, even though I want to try to fight you. So I think that right there alone, man, should be highlighted, man, on Vergil Ortiz's part, man. That was very big, very respectable, from my part. But,
absolutely, man.
As far as Ortiz, Ortiz being good enough to fight Bud, I feel like just like what you just said right now, BDA, well, why not, man? Shit, let him try. He's definitely good enough to not be. I think he's definitely good enough to not look like a fool versus Bud, which I think is the bigger thing. That's the most important thing is if he's able to at least compete with them. And I feel like he's definitely able to compete with Bud. So at this point, it's like, yeah, like why not, man? Like you ain't gonna break me, man. I don't think Bud gonna let Bud to loss break him. So he might as well and shit. He has nothing to gain, nothing to gain. I think Crawford, Bud on the other hand, I think he has a little to lose, especially right now with the Spence and everything going on with Spence. So I don't even think he'd want to fight Vergil right now and shit until he fought Spence. And if he don't fight Spence, I definitely don't think he'll take the chance versus Vergil, because I think Vergil's too dangerous, and he'll be ridiculed. And if he loses to Vergil, like it'd be kind of like a bad move if you ask me and shit. So yeah, as far as being ready, I'm not sure. Why not let them go at it though, like you say? But that's my call, BDA, man. I appreciate you, man. Truly.
All right, thank you, Rolly, for the punches. Thank you for calling in, man. And you're absolutely right. Why make it happen? Make it happen. He might not ever get a chance to fight Crawford again. You never know. So fucking Crawford is 35. So make it happen. And by the way, Rolling with the Punches is a guy that puts his money where his mouth is. This guy went over to the Border Wars. You know that show there that they have where people lace them up if they have a problem. Rolling with the Punches did that twice. So he's not all just talk, man. He walks the walk.
Hey, BDA, you know what I like about Rolling with the Punches?
Appreciate you.
You know what I like about
good for you, brother.
You know what I like about Rolling with him? He's like me. When I try to make my chips with Mr. BDA, I'm trying to drop knowledge because that's what we're all about.
Now, what you said? He's the one. The TBV? You went and did one of their fights. You did a couple of their fights.
Twice, yeah.
Twice. Good for you, brother. Good for you. That's no joke, man. I heard about that. That was you, huh? Big props, bro.
Man. Yeah, man. Thank you very much, man. Truly appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Well, listen, Roland, thank you.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Hell of an experience, man. Hell of an experience.
All right, man. Well, listen, thank you for your call. Call back next time, all right, man? Take it easy.
Of course. Have a good one. Peace.
All right, you too, man. Yeah, man, listen, what do you guys think about it? Jimmy, if you were managing Ortiz and something happens, they go, you know what? 2-3 months, get him ready for a Crawford fight. Would you tell him yes? Would you tell him no?
All right. I listen, I think about it a lot because, again, he's one of my favorite fighters. Because of my age now, I'm thinking of it more. You know, when you're younger, you probably think what you would do if you were the fighter. Now that I'm older, I think of what I would do if I was running this kid or, training him. And because he runs hot emotionally, that can work. Remember, that's a double-edged sword. If he loses, say he goes out and loses and Crawford makes him look remedial, right? Just boxes him, really outboxes him. That he might never come back from that. Not because he was, but mentally, because he does. So I'm saying he's the younger man. And I understand wanting to see the fight. Believe me, dude, I'm as disgusted by this bullshit as you and these guys not fighting each other. But you're asking me what I would do if I was training him. I would absolutely want to see him in a couple more fights first. Only because it would only benefit him. I'd want to see him, that I had a relationship with him. If I was Manny, if he's going to continue with Manny, I'd say, next fight, dude, you need to listen to me right away. Don't put me on ignore for 7 rounds, bro, because you belittle what I do. You make me feel like you have no respect for what I say. Like, what am I doing here, dude? Right? So, and I attribute that to the ring rust. You get in there, you're all amped up. It's been a long time. You've heard a lot of criticisms, been a lot of people talking shit. And the fact that he keeps bringing up that people talking shit, and he had a chip on his shoulder, and there's more things coming out lately that proves that this kid runs hot. I mean, he's battling with people on Twitter, and
yeah, exactly.
He had a chip on his shoulder, right, with everybody. He's an emotional cat, and he, you know what I mean? So that can work both ways. So you don't want him to go out there right yet at this stage of his career, and it's because, all right, what is he, 27?
Ortiz?
Is that how old is he right now?
No, I think he's 25, or 24.
Yeah, so he's a pup. Yeah, man, that's a big ask right now for him. And especially these guys are all in their late 30s and shit. It doesn't really matter much outside of legacy for them. But because of his age, and you see there's still things I see in him that are easily corrected. And I know he has the abilities, both the athleticism and the desire to correct them, because at his heart, that kid's a fighter. You know what I mean? Like a Benavidez. He'd be on the streets throwing hands with dudes just because it was Friday night and he had a few fucking pops in him. You know what I mean? That's just who he is. So you have that. You have that rare breed in a kid who seems to love the sport. He's young. He's talented. He's still rough around the edges in a few ways, but you see elements getting better. That's why you hate to see that long layoff because, again, at least he didn't go back to bad habits. So overall, I like what I saw, but there still needs to be a little more progression. All that how you put it, the stuff that.
Hey Jimmy, what's right is right.
Hey, hold on. Somebody wants to say something. Right? Yeah, somebody wants to say something.
Exactly.
Hey Jimmy, what's right is right. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, what's right is right.
I mean, the kids over here, we're hugging and kissing over here, and 2 minutes later, he's acting like a fucking jerk.
I mean, yeah, Jimmy, when you're right, man. I mean, he's got making a good point.
But you know what I mean? Like all that seasoning shit that Crawford had, he's already gone through. right? He's had that seasoning, that stuff that you need. I'm just saying he's just a couple of, and again, he's 25, but get him in there. This once a year bullshit. Again, you got to give him it because this was supposed to happen in March, but get him in there. Oh, he got some headbutts, nothing that I think worry about skin. He's high cheekboned, so they usually have tough skin, and usually, But anyway, so I would put him in there. I'd try to get him in for fucking November. At the latest, get him in for November and again next January. And then try to get it for this time next year. Cinco de Mayo, maybe against Crawford or one of those guys. Yeah, I'm not saying put this shit off until I'm fucking, worm food. I'm talking about just bang out another 3 fights over the next 8 months. Why not?
Right. Well, it's it's like the guy there from Dallas Cowboys Stadium. He goes, Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo. All right, let's go to, listen, Jimmy. Jimmy wants to give him a little bit more seasoning. Other people feel that Ortiz is ready for those guys. I guess we'll see. Hey, listen, the year's still young. You never know what's going to happen. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like.
Shoot it.
Let's go to a couple of phone calls here. Let's go to 678. 678, you're on the air. 678, what's on your mind?
Hey, Mr. VDA, what's up, panel? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, a little muffled, but yeah, try to speak up, man.
Is this Soothsayer?
Yeah, hey guys. How about now? Is that better?
What's up?
Yeah, sure, yes. Man. Let's go, man. Yeah, man.
Okay. Vergil made, I think, most of us a little nervous, right? With that first round. He looked a little wobbly, right? Even if you put the headbutt to the side.
Maybe. A little bit. Yeah, let's say yes.
Right? It's open for question. Did he look wobbly? I don't know if he looked wobbly. You said he did. Some people are saying that. I'm not sure. It's open for a question.
There's a split, right? He was wobbly or not, right? Like that's kind of the going on.
That's what you said. That's what you said.
But Soothsayer, I need to go back and look at that because you know what can happen sometimes? Say you're moving your feet, you're shifting your body weight. You catch the shot in the time you're shifting weight. When you go to put your foot down, sometimes it'll just throw you off a little. That'll make it look like, okay, does his knees just buckle a little? So was it because he was shook, or was it because was it a balance thing? And I'm just asking because I can't honestly remember the thing you're talking about. I'm going to go back and look.
Right, I can't.
Look what Jimmy just told you. It's true. I'm thinking.
All right, Soothsayer, go ahead, man.
That's kind of why I'm calling. That's was he wobbled or what happened there?
He was off balance. If I remember correctly, he was off balance a little bit sometimes after throwing shots because he was overcommitting and what's his name? McKinson was doing a good job trying to smother him. So they would collide and he would push Ortiz back a little bit, but I never saw him wobbled as in he took a shot and he got his brain rattled. That's not what I saw.
No. Why I'm saying this, what I think, my theory is he got concussed by the headbutt. I think we saw a concussed Vergil the entire fight. So when people were criticizing him, why didn't he, send him home earlier in the fight earlier when he could have finished it? I think he was concussed.
Soothsayer is not wrong for bringing that up, and he's not entirely wrong for being critical. Because in the fifth round, I say that, Vergil Ortiz stepped away to where he was going against the grain. That it looked like he was going against the grain and he looked rattled. Because remember, against Cavaliuskas, he fucking shook his hands up. He shook his gloves off. He didn't get dropped. And the fucking referee said, oh, no. Yeah, that's not a knockdown. Because it wasn't. But now we're seeing that again, that pattern, right? Where he's stepping away, he's going against the grain. As far as I'm so intelligent. And in real time, when you're stepping away from a fucking punch, whether you get hurt or not, if the fucking punch lands, that should be a knockout. Well, that's another thing. It should be a knockout.
Well, Soothsayer, you might be right. I'm going to have to rewatch that. Hey, sometimes some things hurt more than a punch. Sometimes a headbutt does happen, a headbutt clash, and it does leave a guy seeing double. So you might be right. But
because I'm already hearing people criticizing his power, his ring IQ, and a lot of these things. But I'm like, wait, let's give him more credit here. It might come out that he was concussed the entire fight after those headbutts.
Possible. It's possible. But Gazal, hold on. Let's just conclude the call. And Soothsayer, anything else you want to say before we move on?
Oh, thank you guys for a great show. Y'all have a good Sunday.
Thank you, man. You too. That's a good point,
Thank
though. You made about the headbutt there. All right, we'll talk to you later, Sixer. Yeah, that's it. Listen, that's...
BD.
Yeah, Gazelle, go ahead, yeah.
BD, you can criticize his power, but he's stepping into rarefied air where if he's going to continue getting the knockouts, we got a question. He's ain't no Bamblanga. Is he in the stratosphere of the fucking Edwin Valero? Is he Mike Tyson? Well, it's not first round fucking knockouts. He's going to this, but that he's fucking... He's burning the midnight oil. He's getting the stoppages. Well, sometimes you got to question, how is he doing it? But he's still doing it. And nobody's doing it like him because it's still fucking 100%. This ain't no fucking Gary Russell Jr.'s brother. It might be. Let's look the other way because this is what is it? The Russian dude. What's the Russian dude? Not the middleweight. The light heavyweight. That was a beast.
Beterbiev. Beterbiev. Look, Beterbiev just does it. He does it more. He does it more methodically. He's the epitome of how you mix power with patience. I mean, he just, like I said, methodical, surgical. The way he places his depth charges and just takes guys out of there. Ortiz maybe a little bit more, a little less composed in there, but still quite a beast. And again, he
emotional.
Will not be. A little emotional, yeah, but he will not be easy for anybody. I'm telling you right now. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to...
And BDA, real quick, I'd say always pay attention to who's criticizing him. Who are they? That's all.
That's true.
Someone who always criticizes them, and they have an agenda.
650, you're on the air, 650. What's on your mind?
What's up, BDA? I want to talk about the Mick Conlon fight.
Ooh.
Did you see it?
Yes, I did, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately is for sure. Like, not only that, was he kind of like just running and not really fighting. He looked scared. Like, he looked like he was afraid of his chin. And that's unfortunate because I really liked him. I really liked his style, but not yesterday. Like, that was terrible. And I don't know if he's going to go anywhere with that chin. Because in that last round, you could tell, even I got worried, and he was controlling the whole fight. But anyway, and then the Russell, I'm going to talk about the Russell family. I think the PBC is just going to carry them no matter what. It doesn't matter who, like, how bad they are.
Uh-huh.
Like, fucking Gary Russell got to hold his fucking belt for, like, years and years and years hostage, only fought once a year. Now his brother is getting all these weird wins, these weird KOs. And I also want to make one bold prediction.
Ooh.
I believe by 2024, PBC will no longer be in the boxing business, and Al Heyman will be out of the boxing business.
Well, not for nothing, but the PBC is like a cockroach. Every time we hear stories of its demise, and whoops, it pops back up. I mean, I don't know, man. But so you're saying 2024? You're giving him a little bit of a window in 2023?
Yeah, the reason is because you saw how 2022 has been going. The Fox hasn't been fucking with them. They're putting on that one bullshit pay-per-view. And I think 2023, there's going to be even less of it.
Oh.
And I just think it's going to slowly decay. And I think by 2024, Heyman will be out. I pray.
Yeah, it's only do boxing good, I think, if he was gone. And if they don't make that Crawford fight, that would be a bad thing. But you know what's really crazy? They'll have absolutely no problem. Shamelessly, they'll turn around and start propping up the Spence Thurman finally meet showdown.
Not disgusting.
Like it's nothing.
That's disgusting. Yeah,
Yep.
That's disgusting. And that's what they'll do. And then they'll also bring in Wilder to fight this bum taxi driver from Finland, Hellenius. And then they'll make us spend a bunch of money on that. And then that'll be it for the PBC.
Well, listen, I don't think they're going to give us something that good. I think it'll be the Turk.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him that fat Turk there. But, I mean, listen, the PBC, I'd hate to see boxers out of work or have to worry about who they're going to have to sign with next. But at the end of the day, the PBC's done more bad than good. Especially when they came in and they talked all that talk about free boxing. Listen, their intentions were clear from the get-go. They wanted to take over for boxing. They wanted to monopolize it, no belts. And see how that went. A lot of these fighters fell for the banana in the tailpipe with the Floyd Mayweather thing. They thought they were gonna make Floyd Mayweather type money, and it's their fault, and it's our fault. That's why I'm boycotting. I don't think you guys remember this, but I'm boycotting the PBC right now. I'm with Wad Rapid.
Yes, I remember.
I'm not watching any more people. I'm not paying them a dime anymore because they're giving us crap. And then when they give us one good fight, it's like, hey, you owe us now. We owe you, motherfuckers. We're paying your fucking bills. We're paying this for these fights, and it's crap. So no more. Cutting them off.
I haven't bought one of their pay-per-views, and I can't remember how long. You know what I mean? Unless it's a co-promo, like Wilder against Fury. But yeah, no, I'm done. It's an absolute. It's an eyesore at this point. It's got to change.
Yeah.
Well, Caller, anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, that's it. And hey, guys, just try to remember the last good night PBC put on. It's really hard to fucking figure out. I can't figure out the last good night of fights they put on.
Yeah, I'm not even giving my neurons any work for that. I don't even want to remember. But anyway, listen, thank you for calling in 612. Call back next time, all right, man? Take it easy.
Right on. See you, BDA.
Right. See you, man. Yeah, good call, man. Hey, good for him. He watched the Conlan fight. You know, it's interesting. We were talking about not spending too much time on fights that we don't need to watch. And here I am fucking watching the Conlan fight. Oh, man, that was a boring fight. I wish I could get my time back from that fight. But you know what, Jimmy? It's interesting because that Wood fight, he was actually winning it early on, obviously. Then he started falling, Wood started catching up with him. But it was really that last knockdown or knockout when he dropped him out of the ring. The right hand that knocked him out, it was a weird right hand. It's almost like he shouldn't even have knocked him out the way it did, but it did. And I think
it was because he was so physically exhausted.
Exactly.
Like I doubt he even ever went out cold. That was just because when you can't even get any more air into your lungs, you're so exhausted, right? You're burning. It doesn't take next to nothing to take your legs out from under you. And I believe that's what more it was, thing with him. But when he's controlling the pace, he wants to fight boring. That's his style. So I have no desire. I gave him enough chances. I watched enough of his fights, and it wasn't getting better. It was getting worse. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this kid. Certain guys, like, Shakur was on that fast track too. And then to his credit, he changed it up. I'd like to see him get a little more aggressive just for the fan excitement. But he took that criticism from everybody after that fight. He did change it up. So let's see if he keeps doing it. But for me, Conley was never that dude. And I'm a fucking power guy. You know what I mean? Like I'm a size guy. No, but
wait, what?
If somebody doesn't have power, I have a hard time getting behind a pure boxer.
No.
That's just my thing. I've just always been that way. If you don't have any power, yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's most boxing fans. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 612. 612, you're on the air. 612, what's on your mind?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, it's Tin Can, man. What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm good. How's the panel doing?
We're doing fantastic, man. Hope you're doing fantastic as well.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yesterday was again full credit to Golden Boy. I think the main card, all fights were like good all action fights. Like you said, I think Blair Cobbs shit the bed towards the end, but I think he fought pretty well the first few rounds. And I think Vergil Ortiz is ready for big name. I don't think they need any more seasoning. I think if they give him more seasoning, he just gets seasoned out like any other prospect who should have been challenged at an early stage. I think he's ready for them. They need not wait. Maybe a fight with either Blair Cobbs or Alex Rocha would be a good thing to end the year. And then maybe he's ready for Crawford or Spence. That's my opinion. And I'm with you, BDA, on the boycott of PBC. I think they are doing great disservice by putting all these shitty cards on pay-per-view. That's my opinion.
You're preaching to the choir, and I think we're preaching to the choir as well out there with the people listening to us there. Tin Can, man. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, have a great day, guys. Thank you
too, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Good hearing back from you, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, take care.
All right.
Bye.
Take care, man. Don't forget, fellas, the phone line is open. The number's in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. Now, fellas, you gotta help me out here. I gotta take a little bit of a break here. But before I do that, let me leave you with a couple of questions, something to munch on. We're August the 7th, so yesterday was the 6th. In 2 weeks, we've got Usyk, Joshua, 2 big fight. We haven't had a big fight in a while. That one's coming up. And man, I'm telling you, I'm a little bit conflicted here because, as you guys remember, we were some of the few people on the internet picking Usyk to win. Now, though, shit, I don't know. For some reason, I'm having doubts, man. And I'll tell you what my doubts are. Usyk admitting that the body shots hurt like hell. Now Joshua is with Robert Garcia. That's body shot school right there, body punching school. Rematches tend to go, the fight was competitive. It's not like Usyk completely schooled him and won every single round. So there's room for improvement there for Joshua to win. What do you guys think about that upcoming fight? And I'll be right back.
All right. You guys think well, I can address that. Out of the two, Usyk is by far the more skilled boxer, has the higher IQ. And if one of the two fighters were going to download information, like who's going to come in, who would benefit from those first 12 rounds more, that would be Usyk. Just in his ring IQ and his boxing ability. That's not saying that Joshua doesn't have the strength. Again, Joshua, it's all in his head. Does he trust his chin? Is he willing to commit? I mean, because he has the strength, obviously, to put Usyk out. It's just Usyk's a hard guy. You're not going to bum rush him. You're going to have to set it up. But again, obviously, the body shot's what you want to do because Usyk, he's beating him with his legs, right? So how do you take legs out his body shots? What's
Jimmy,
that?
do you think boxers are more intelligent now? That would only feel. What are they more intelligent? Are they smarter? That's what they get knocked out. What's the crux here?
Today?
They're
today?
smarter now. They're good. Yes. Why is he so good? He's good. He's a good fighter. He's a great fighter. Why? Why is he so good? He's the best one.
Yeah, Usyk. It's just he's trained by Vasil. Yeah, he's trained by Vasil's dad, and they have a very scientific way of looking at boxing, and they do a lot of.
Why is he so good? He's the best. He's so good.
Yeah, Lomachenko's dad does. I mean, you've seen the stuff they do. They do the memory stuff where you have to point, go to the lights with your fingers. It's just all about and they work. I mean, put it this way. It's so funny. The hottest young boxer in the country right now, without a doubt, is fucking Bam Rodriguez. And who did Bam Rodriguez say he studies and tries to emulate? Lomachenko. So for the people who say he's a hype job, why is this kid who's so great try to emulate him? He said that in an interview recently. It wasn't that recently. I was actually before the Cordes fight. But that's how good he is. You know what I mean? That's why when I say other fighters look at Lomachenko and go, holy shit, the stuff the dude does in there is pretty fucking crazy. And Usyk's trained by his father. Usyk's a very intelligent dude. They treat boxing like it's a business. You know what I mean? It's not a lifestyle. I mean, it's a lifestyle, and it's also a business with them. It's everything. So that's how they treat it. They don't drink and get all fucked up and party. They don't do that to themselves, so they tend to last longer.
You know what, man? Speaking of that translates to stamina. And Super Sardonic in the chat makes a good point. He says, AJ upped the tempo on Usyk in the mid-rounds. He did. Found some success and then gassed. It's going to be a long night if he can't get Usyk out of there early. That's an excellent point, man. In the middle rounds, that's when Joshua found his success. And again, he was never out of the fight. He was constantly landing something during the fight, but it's that gas tank. And let's just face the facts. Usyk is a smarter fighter in there. So we're gonna keep talking about this a little bit today, and of course, as the fight gets closer. But before we do that,
and BDA, and what happens when you gas too? You can get like we just talked, stopped easier, and that's the reason why Usyk. I believe it wouldn't have taken much more to stop Joshua in that last round. What do you think?
I think you're right. I mean, that's why he sensed that in the end, and this time he might end up pecking away at the body a little bit more to try to get something out of Joshua earlier. But I want to mention more about that. But first, let's go to Funko here. Somebody's been waiting. Let's go to 207. 207, you're on the air. 207, what's on your mind?
Hello?
Yes, 207, you're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, man. What's up?
Hey, so I watch boxing. I just had a couple general questions. So I've seen some of the fight last night with Ortiz, and so I hear a lot of people talking about that he's supposed to be fighting for like a championship or something next. My question is, why do you think people are not trying to get Vergil Ortiz to fight Boots? If I'm correct, I've been hearing a lot of people talking about Boots been he's supposed to be like a mandatory or something to fight either Spence or something like that. I think that'll be a great fight though if they can get Vergil and Boots in a ring together. But I just wanted to make sure, are they in the same division?
Yeah, Boots and Vergil Ortiz are in the same division. But now you hit on something critical here. You hit on something critical here, caller, because Boots is a big dude. I don't know how he makes 147. Vergil Ortiz this week before the fight said, they asked him, hey, if you can't get in the big names, are you going to move up? He said, no, I'm staying at 147. But you can tell he's another big welterweight too. Who knows how long he's gonna be making 140? So it goes for both guys. I don't know for how long they're gonna be able to make 147 because they look like they're ready to go to another division. As to your other question about the rankings, I don't usually pay attention to the rankings, but I had to look them up today. I'll give you the rundown real quick. The WBA champ is Errol Spence. The number one contender is Ortiz, but I don't know if he's the number one contender because there's two WBA champions apparently. There's the world champion and then there's a super champ. And Ortiz is number one in that one. In the WBC...
Oh my God.
I know, man. I know. In the WBC, Thurman is the number one contender. For the IBF, Ennis is the number one contender. And for the WBO, which is Crawford holds that belt, not Spence, Ortiz is the number one there. So hopefully that
wasn't Crawford? Didn't they put Thurman at the WBC? Didn't they bump him up to number one there too?
WBC.
Yeah. I'm getting panicked. What should we do, BDA? What should we do?
Just keep ignoring these fucking belts. But caller, yes, go ahead, caller. Hopefully that answers your question, man.
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just trying to figure out. So Boots is not a mandatory for neither one of the belts.
Sorry. Yeah, I think he's a mandatory for the IBF, which Spence holds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he is Spence's.
Do you think that might be something that can probably happen with Boots and Vergil? Because I think that'll be a great turnout, to be honest with you, if they can get Spence and Crawford to get in the ring. I think Boots and Vergil will be a good fight.
It would be a fantastic fight, but the problem is, from what we've been hearing, the rumblings in the internet, is that Thurman, since he's the WBC number one contender for Errol Spence's belt, he's a bigger money fight for Errol Spence. He's a no-name, so that's probably the fight that's going to come up next. I don't think they're going to put Ennis in there with Spence. I don't think they'd risk that right now at this moment.
But here's the problem, BDA, and they're starting to make some grumbles about it too. Even writers are starting to write about it. You know that Spence hasn't taken care of a mandatory in 4 years? Not one mandatory in 4 years. In fact, I don't even think he's ever actually faced a mandatory. So Ennis is the mandatory. Gary Shaw and Showtime could really start pushing that. Really start pushing, make, hey, listen, he's getting, in the IBF, is he willing to give up his belt? Because the IBF could turn around, and anybody who will do it will be the IBF. They tend to, do that. So I think, honestly, if the Crawford fight doesn't happen, in my heart, I believe the fucking IBF is going to mandate Spence Ennis. Whoa. And I think Spence will dump it. I just believe that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I can see that too.
But thank y'all for taking my call, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for calling in, man. Have a great Sunday.
All right, you too.
All right, take it easy, man. Yeah, you know what, Jimmy? I can see Errol Spence dumping a belt because people love to talk about undisputed. If him and Crawford fight, it's going to be for undisputed. But if it comes down to it, he's going to dump the belt. I mean, him and Crawford would still be a significant fight. It wouldn't be any less of a fight to me if they had 2 belts, 1 belt. If they had 0 belts, I would still watch the fight. I don't care about the belts, but some fans still are obsessed with Undisputed.
It's just funny. You never hear the Spence fans clamming for that fucking Boots fight. You never hear them on Twitter saying, he's your number 1 man champ. Fight him. You don't ever hear that from Spence fans. They never call for Boots at us.
Well, listen, we've had discussions here with. Go ahead, Gazelle.
The pattern is make the fucking fight happen for Undisputed, but then dump the fucking belts. You want to dump the belts before fucking Undisputed because these motherfuckers ain't fucking making it happen? Dude, I like it. Ryan Garcia was a little bit on, but way off when he said, I'm going to 140 because I'm facing the motherfucking, what was he talking about? He made a little bit of fucking, we got all excited, but then all of a sudden he started talking trash again. No, that dude's a fucking loser. Yeah. But yeah. I understand your fucking sensation and your feeling about not fucking following the belts. All of a sudden, it makes a little sense. Let's follow the fucking belt until we can.
Make a lot of sense.
Because
I make a lot of sense.
They want, because they want us to follow their fucking pattern, their bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're popular, right?
Yeah, I think. Listen,
listen to me. Follow me. No.
They get all the belts and then. They're not afraid. They just want all the belts to call themselves Undisputed for a period of time, and then they dump the belts, and people will still call them Undisputed. That's the idiocy of the belts. That the belts don't make the man.
Listen,
but hold on, Gazelle. We gotta take a call. We're gonna take a call here, man. Let's go to.
Take it away.
951. You're on the air. 951. What's on your mind?
Boom Boom Guy, LDBC. What's up?
Oh, Boom Boom Guy. What's up? You tell us, man.
Yeah, I'm just listening to you and Gonzalo go at it. Yeah, the belts, I was going to tell you, a lot of people already told you about, what's going on with the belts and how people don't like the sanctioning bodies. So, yeah, Undisputed is a big accomplishment to a boxer, but after that, it comes with fees. So it makes sense that a boxer would want the accomplishment, but then don't want to hold the belts and pay all the sanctioning fees.
Exactly.
So, they'll drop them. It's not a fault to the fighter, so we can't really judge that.
No, it wasn't.
Spence made it clear that he doesn't want to. No, I'm just saying it. I wasn't toward anybody. I'm just saying. And Errol Spence made it clear that he doesn't want to fight Thurman. Boots did call out Errol Spence. I think his last fight, he called out Errol Spence. But no one's asking for it right now. No one's pressuring that fight right now because we want Crawford versus Spence.
That's true.
That's a big fight we want. We don't want to hear any other names. But yes, that's a good fight too. Ennis is an up and coming star. He's a special talent. He's one of those anomaly fighters where I think he hasn't proved himself yet, but you can look at his fights and know he's going to be one of the top dogs. And the fight last night, Ortiz did a good job. I mean, just when you compare him to the rest of the division or the top people in the division, it's like I don't think he's going to do anything. Like, he'll put on some good fights, but you put him in there with Boots, you put him there with Spence or any other type of guys, nothing's going to happen. He's great, but he's not up there on the other levels. Are you
talking about Ortiz?
Yeah.
Are you talking? Okay, but do you realize how hard that kid punches? How do you compare him versus
Boots?
Yeah, but Boots that's a different animal.
To Boots.
Boots is easy. Boots has got length. Boots has got more athleticism, but Ortiz is the harder puncher.
But what I'm saying is, I notice he's a great fighter. I'm not saying that. Last night he did what he was supposed to do. I liked him last night, but when you bring up these other names, it just seems like I kind of see how that's going to go. Yeah, it's a fight. You can land a punch. I mean, I don't see him breaking the other guy's ribs. I don't see him having success like he did last night with the other top guys. So Thurman, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think Thurman experience kind of carries him over to the victor. But I mean, it's just I like the guy. That's all I can say. Let's see when the fight.
Thurman
happens.
wouldn't even say his name.
I like
Thurman
Ortiz.
said, Thurman act like you never heard of him.
Yeah, like I said, I like him, but I just don't see him fighting any of the top guys. I don't see him winning. That's basically my assessment on him. And last thing, Jimmy, I came in when you were talking about Loma. Come on, Jimmy, I know you like Loma. I know you do, but come on, man. You have to see that Loma's
what did I say? What did before you just tell me how you feel about how I feel? What exactly did I say? Did I say that Bam Rodriguez, the hottest young fighter, on an interview said, I study his films and I try to move an angle and emulate him? That's all I said. And I said other fighters put him on a pedestal. And I understand you can have your opinion, I can have mine. But when other fighters say stuff about him, he's not a hype job, dude. This kid is a special talent. Okay. The same way you say Boots is a special talent, which I also have been saying for years about Boots.
Okay, I'll respond to that, Jimmy. I didn't say anything was wrong with what you're saying. I said you have to acknowledge that Loma is getting older, and he's a small guy at 135. The guys we wanted him to fight, T.O., outgrew the 135 division. We wanted him to fight Garcia. Garcia outgrew the 135 division. We wanted him to fight Haney. Haney is outgrown the 135 division.
But why is that? Why are they outgrowing and he's not? Because he shouldn't even be at 135 to begin with, though, brother. Well, exactly. He's literally fighting in a weight class he shouldn't be in because the guys in the weight class he would fight at want nothing to do with him. If he went back down to 130, who do you think's going to fight him there? He's like Pacquiao. He's in a position where he has to fight sometimes 2 weight classes above that he should be just to get the competition. And that's what's happened with Lomachenko. He was forced to go to 135. He can't go to 140. It's too big for him.
All right,
and that's a good argument. That is a good argument. But I'm going to say 135, there are guys there that's going to use their size to beat him. And he has 2 losses. So that game plan that you're talking about, I agree. I mean, Tim Bradley gave an excellent analysis on like what it takes to beat Loma. So, yeah, he's good, but there's game plans to beat him. That's all I have to say.
All right, well, listen, Boom Guy, thank you for calling in. We'll catch you on the next one, man. Take it easy.
Peace.
All right, let's go to another phone call here. And don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Let's go to 856. 856, you're on the air. 856, what's on your mind?
Hey, what up, BDA? This is USSG. What up to everybody? Hey, I'm going to just start off saying shout out to, these cards and these fights, man. And certain fights are still brewing. And that's what we're waiting on. You know what I mean? So, not to speak on the 35 at the moment. I'm just going to, get to Boots Ennis, you feel me, and Vergil Ortiz, bro. You got to understand that Boots Ennis, competition level-wise, he definitely shown, from Clayton, from Lipinez, prove himself, earn his way in the trenches as he, taking on fighters that he feels as though that's appropriate, that's next up. Top guys, you could say Vergil Ortiz could consider top guys at the moment, but I don't think he's really ready for it. Boots Ennis, you could say, for me, he's ready for top guys, but, he still got to earn his way to those top guys. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm like, they should mix it up. You still got Jamal James out here, in his position, right? So, and Keith Thurman and Spence, for me, that's long overdue. You know what I'm saying? That matchup right there, it takes fights to get a fight to, earn your way to those top guys. You feel me? So Boots Ennis and Keith, Vergil and Bud Crawford, let's keep it real, man. Like, contenders got to mix it up, bro. There's no way around that. You know what I'm saying? And the winners gets those top guys. Unless the top guys willing to take them on, you know what I mean? Considering, how Bud, Sean Porter, taking certain contenders. You know what I mean? Like Ugas at some point. You feel me? So you still got Boots Ennis and Ugas. That's still a good matchup. You feel me?
I agree, man. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that would be a good fight. And you know what I like about Boots and Ortiz is at least there's a reason why people are so high on them. It's because they're entertaining. They're taking out the competition. Knockouts. They're not back foot bitching it. So, man, these two guys deserve a. That's what I'm saying. If the title shot comes for them, they should take it, man. I don't think they should be any more marinating for either one of them.
I mean, but you got to still consider that the team is saying, who they ready for? Vergil Ortiz team, is they ready for Crawford? If you ain't ready for Crawford, are you ready for the Keys? Are you ready for the Danny Garcia? You know what I'm saying? Same goes with Boots. Well, Boots saying, we take on anyone that's in front of him. Who next? You know what I'm saying? And, that's right. Back and forth with Earl Spence and Boots. We know that back and forth right there. But, get back to my other point, too. We're in a name that's merging. That's, people start getting familiar with, taking notice. Just say Staniolis. Now, this guy here, he's a flat-foot fighter. You know what I'm saying? He brings the pressure. That's Staniolis' style. You know what I mean? And, he fought a recent opponent. Trying to get his name. He's more so like a footwork fighter. You feel me? So you got to understand these style matchups are great. You know what I mean? And it shows and proves, your skill set. You got to take more risks on certain fights and make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? It might cost you. You might get chin check. You might, end up in a KO, which, certain styles, you got to understand that it's all about the pressure, consistency, you dig? But my main other point is Staniolis. He not even been past a mean machine at this point. He still got his way like a mean machine would. You feel me? Now, Vergil Ortiz, biggest fight for me, it wasn't the Herrera fight. You feel me? Kind of been, he had Vargas. Yeah, man, they earned their way. You know what I'm saying? But mean machine, he's definitely one of those. You can put him in the Sean Porter type lane, like on the edge of that. Like he's a tough opponent you gotta get through. And Mean Machine, for me, he fought Brewer. That's who Mean Machine fought way back. Who's a footwork fighter? That's Brewer, but Mean Machine handled him like it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? That was early in his career, and Mean Machine still proving his way. He still probably want that run back with Terrence Buzz Crawford. Now here's the thing I'm trying to highlight when it came to Vergil Ortiz and Mean Machine and Bud Crawford and Mean Machine. Mean Machine clipped Bud Crawford. It wasn't a solid flush connected punch on the Crawford. It was like, Mean Machine went for the knockout, but it wasn't a flush shot. Now Mean Machine caught Vergil Ortiz with a flush shot. So let people know, that's a big difference from there. Because who knows, Mean Machine, 9 out of 10, he got power in both hands. He could have KO Crawford.
Oh, maybe listen.
Cool.
This division is filled with Crawford. This division is filled with punchers, man. That's for sure. And it's in a perfect world, if they were all fighting each other, it would be a fantastic division. Unfortunately, because of the division here of promotional entities, it's not happening right now. But you're right, man. That there's these guys. There's anybody can give anybody else a hard night at this point. So I mean, we'll see what happens, man. But 856, we got to move on here from.
Mean Machine and Vergil was a banger fight. I'm glad that fight was factually made. You know what I mean? That came across him and he got the job. They made it happen. Vergil Ortiz definitely shown that he can endure solid punches and keep it consistent and get back up. So he definitely impressed me with this with the fight with Mean Machine. And although Bud Crawford, you could say, executed Mean Machine in his fashion, but Vergil Ortiz did it in a whole different type of fashion.
Well, there you go, man. I mean, listen, the future is bright, man. The future is bright. So 856, thank you for your call, man, and we'll catch you next time, all right, man? Thank you, man. Thank you for calling in. Yeah, it's a loaded division, man. Hopefully we get some, but Jimmy, how long do you think Ortiz and Ennis can still stay at 147, though?
Oh, I think they can stay there for as long as they want because of their age. The reason being, if they really wanted to, because did you hear from what I've been told, I don't know, and I think he's talked about it, Ennis is a gym guy. Like, he's always in the gym. He's very meticulous about what he eats. He's not a partier. He's always training, and he's always keeps himself within that certain weight. So when he has to go to camp, it's not a fat camp. Ortiz, he said, I'll be back in the gym in 2 weeks. Like this, so when it becomes a problem, Mr. BDA, as you get older, as you blow up, every time you try to take it off, it becomes a little harder. It's not that these guys can. it's not that they can't ever get down to the weight. Guys just stop doing it because it becomes harder and harder and more draining. So, and they end up eating more. It takes too much time out of their camp. But as long as they can keep themselves within a certain weight, they could stay there for a while. Ennis would be a little harder. But isn't he older, though? Isn't he in his, late 20s?
Ennis is 1 year older. He's 1 year older than Ortiz, so he's 25.
So he's 26. Okay. Yeah. So, 25. Yeah. So, yeah, and he's a little bigger, a little wider and stuff. Can I just say one thing? And I just think it's funny. I just got to say one thing, BDA, real quickly. I just think it's funny that, right, I can say, Boots Ennis, I've said it for years, special talent. Bam Rodriguez, special talent. Okay, Boots is black. Bam's Mexican. I'll say Xander, Puerto Rican, special talent. Yet, Boom Boom only gets upset about Lomachenko. When I say he's a special talent. It's kind of funny that it's always, and then it's when he makes the blueprint because he lost twice, but he left out that neither loss had anything to do with the other one, or that both the guys he lost to would rather jump in front of a train and shoot themselves in the head first before the fucking rematching them. There was a reason for that. Well, Salido didn't really need, he was done at the end of his career. But Lopez was never going to rematch him. He saw what happened when he finally decided he was going to fight. So there's no blueprint. Yeah, there's a blueprint. You got to outwork him and do other things, but you can't say, well, just throw it. He has 2 losses. Like, he just throws it out, leaves it hanging in the air. Like, that's in itself negates what he does. But anyways, I just want to say, I just think it's funny that that's the one guy he seems to get bothered by.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there, and it's true. Listen, man. Anyway, I mean, Lomachenko. We're not going to turn this into a Lomachenko show right now, but you're right, Jimmy. You're absolutely bang on with everything you said. I don't think anything else needs to be said. Anything else would be redundant from my part. I wanted to mention on something though. When I left and I came back, and we were talking about Usyk. Well, can I just show? Let me just show the clip about what I want to, because we're talking about Usyk, and again in 2 weeks. He's going to be rematching Anthony Joshua. I don't know how that's going to turn out. But here's...
I want to throw my 2 cents before that. But go ahead, BD.
Here's the clip of... there's been clips coming out of Usyk training. Now, for some reason, he won't play here. He's looking big, man. He's looking...
he's a big... Can I go back a little bit, BD, in regards to what you were talking about before?
About what? Because, I mean, I want to take it a little bit...
No. But let me say... They were mixing. The collar was mixing. The collar was mixing and matching the 47-pound division with the 35 division. It's not the same. They made great points, but they were mixing and matching the 35 division with the 47-pound division. Oh, it can sound great. You're fucking making great points, but it's not the same division. 2 totally different fucking divisions. It sounds good.
Right. I think I missed a little bit of that, but let's go with that. Yeah, you're right. Let's go with that. All right, so now I wanted to play here. Here's one clip of Usyk. He's sort of doing the Mike Tyson thing there, the bobbing and weaving. A little bit there. This isn't even the clip that I really originally wanted to show. There was another one where he's playing badminton or something. This guy's looking huge. Now, I remember he was looking thick before the first fight. And he sort of trimmed down a little bit. So I don't know if he's bulking up and then he's going to try to shed the fat and just come in shredded and big, or if he's going to bulk up. But I think we can all agree that his two big advantages over Joshua from a physical standpoint is the speed and the stamina. There's very few guys out there that have Usyk's engine and who can end fights stronger, even when the fight is tough, for as long as he goes. He almost always ends fights stronger. So, guys, what do you think about this Usyk looking big here?
I'm not worried.
And why? This is a free fight for Russia? No. For the Ukraine, this is a free fucking fight. That means I love the sport. I love what I do. I'm the man, no? Right or wrong? I'm the man.
And I would say, BDA, about that, I wouldn't give it a second thought, no concern. The reason being it's a concern for Joshua because the longer he stays at heavyweight, the more his body's going to get acclimated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just look at how much better he did by the time he fought Joshua from the first time he fought. And remember who's training him. I mean, they'd look at it like scientifically, the old man, the strength and conditioning coach for the Ukrainian Olympic team, which was Lomachenko's dad. So I'm sure they bring his weight to a certain point, and I'm sure they have targeted, like they'll say, okay, you can get up to this weight as long as you still do a 440 or whatever, a 40-yard dash. As long as you, if you get slower, you have to peel back the weight. Like he'll do things like that. He'll look at it that scientifically, like the way they do it football. It's all about can you carry and do certain things expected of you at a certain weight, and he has different drills that I'm sure he tests him.
Gazelle, let me finish, man. Let me finish.
No. I've always wondered because I've always wondered because time is of an essence. When you're not that young, but you're not that old, but you gotta be fighting your own cylinders like Lomachenko. Dude, you cannot waste no fucking time. This dude is gonna be fucking on all fucking cylinders to be the man because he's not a big heavyweight, right? So the dudes that always he doesn't have time on his side to where he's not the huge man to where he's bullying. No, he's beating you with skills, somewhat of a size with a thick neck, but he's the bad motherfucker. But it's kind of skills. Skills pay the fucking bills, and the dude is turning you. This is a fucking bad motherfucker. This is a Russian. Is he Russian BD or Ukrainian? What's the difference?
Ukrainian.
He's a bad motherfucker. What's the difference?
That's awesome. Especially
tell
right
me
now.
what's the difference.
Well, listen. I could tell you the difference, but I don't think I could tell you the difference, but I don't think it would make a difference. No, but listen. Here's the thing, man. Jimmy, you're right about that. Usyk is a consummate professional, but now here's the other thing. I remember before the first fight, the reason why people were picking Joshua was, wow, Usyk can't hurt him, and we were like, well, listen. When you got a guy that's snapping your head back, it doesn't matter what way he's out. If he's snapping your head back, he's hurting you. And that's what Usyk was doing to heavyweights before that. Now, and then we saw him stun Joshua with a left hook. I forget which round it was in. I think the third or fourth. And then almost took him out. More exhaustion than anything else. But he almost he had him in trouble in the last round. But now here's what I'm going here. I think too many people are getting a little bit too overconfident now with Usyk. They seem to think that all he needs to do is show up and listen. He's stepping in there against a guy that's 6'5", 245 pounds, maybe more than that. No matter where Joshua hits you, you're gonna feel it. And Usyk did it. And Usyk, hold on, Gazelle. Hold on, let me finish. Gazelle, let me finish. He did. Usyk made a bit of a mistake, if you ask me, in admitting that those body shots hurt like hell. Because now, if Joshua says, you know what? Let me just go all out to the body, which I think he should do.
Right.
And when I say all out, I don't mean blow his wad, because obviously he's got.
Biddy, I always thought that Joshua was dangerous. Guess what? Because 10 years ago when he won the Olympics, fucking not dangerous. I was going into the fucking what is that store and and I was walking in that fucking store and they had fucking Joshua posters all over the fucking Dick's Sporting Goods. And guess what? Joshua in America, he was the fucking the British dude. But I'm gonna tell you something, Joshua. This is why I'm fucking going to bat for Joshua. This is why I'm going to bat for. He punches hard with both hands, so he can set traps 2 times over. No, when a right-handed fighter can set traps for a left-hander or for another fucking right-hander, if like you're a Mexican dude, because we're the student of the game. No, guess what? I fucking hit hard with both hands. I'm a right-hander. I'm gonna fucking belt you to your right and your left. That I'm not looking for the king. I'm gonna fucking hit you with the hook to the head. I'm a heavyweights, head hunter. I'm gonna fucking look for a trap to the fucking head. And if you're a turning like a Joshua, like a Usyk, turning. That's one thing about the fucking the Ukrainians. They're turning and turning. Turn against a fucking power hand. I get hard with both hands. Turn into my punch. I've always betted for that. That's my mistake, BD.
Well, you know what, man?
For the big man. That's my mistake.
Yeah, but Usyk is not only is he the consummate professional, but he's a consummate competitor. I think he should watch out. Don't get overconfident, which I don't think he. I think his fans are getting overconfident. I don't think he is, and I think this time
he's that to you. Yeah,
right. And I think this time he's gonna. I think he's looking to outperform his last performance. I think he's gonna try to take Joshua out, and guess what? I think he can. If he puts on a little bit more weight, then
exactly. Get acclimated more to the weight. Absolutely, it's just only going to benefit him. And out of the two, who's the higher IQ? Who would learn more after fighting somebody for 12 rounds? Out of the two, who would benefit more from that? And I would believe that'd be Usyk. And like you said earlier, and it is true, his fans. It's so funny too because I don't remember that many people picking Usyk going into the fight. a lot of. Like, good writers and guys who know the sport were picking him. But I pretty much say it was Joshua's going to destroy that boy fucking on Twitter. That was pretty much so it's kind of funny, the big swing around. But again, it's not what all the fucking knuckleheads in the peanut gallery, their confidence, as long as Usyk, and to your point, he's a consummate professional.
But Jimmy,
Gonzalo, let him finish, man, please.
And I'll just finish with that. He's a consummate professional.
Oh, don't make me look bad, Jimmy. Don't make me look bad, Jimmy. Don't end it.
Oh, no. I just didn't want to. I just didn't want, you know what I mean? Okay. No, so one more second then, bro. I just want to say that I don't think he's going to look at it that way. I think what he's going to do after taking that 12 rounds, I think he knows he's good enough to know what he did wrong, not to try to do that again, and know what was working for him. And Joshua can change certain things about his attack, but he's still going to be Joshua. And I know that's very vague, but you are who you are. And I think getting knocked out has been in his head. And he still, even though he shed a lot of muscle, still carries a lot of muscle. It takes a lot of oxygen. So if he's going to take out Usyk, it has to be in the first 6 rounds, because after that, his punching power just dissipates big time. And that's when he goes from I want to knock him out to I hope he don't knock me out.
And that's it. And Jimmy, you know what's got me not be photo, but you know what I'm seeing from Joshua, for a rich dude that punch hard with both hands, he's very like dedicated to like Canelo Alvarez. Why is he so dedicated? What is fucking rallying up his fucking boat? What is having him so fucking busy that he's fucking dedicated and he feels like depression is not a problem. That ain't no fucking Danny Garcia. That motherfucker ain't gonna cry like for cry me a fucking river. No, this dude he's rich. He got everything. He's fucking dedicated. Why? And that it will make you better, right or wrong.
Well, he did cry after he beat Joshua, I think. I think when he got the decision.
But now he's a strong-headed dude. Nobody.
Oh yeah, he's very. Listen, Usyk is. You can tell this guy. I haven't read stories about his training.
Joshua.
Oh, Joshua. Okay, yeah. Joshua.
Anthony Joshua.
I like Joshua's.
But he throws crisp punches. He's got the fucking mechanics. Whoa.
Look. I like Joshua's. Mentally, a lot of people feel he's confused, but ultimately he gets the job done. Look, he got to work. Right, he did accomplish. He accomplished a lot in both the amateur and professional ranks. He did come back from his first loss, so he was able to overcome that. Now, of course, there's an asterisk there because what's his name? Ruiz also fucked up a little bit. They're showing up like a fatso, even more of a fatso. But still, hey, look, it's sometimes fortune goes your way if you take the chance. If he wouldn't have taken the rematch, you would never beat him. Whether Ruiz would have shown up as a fatso or not. So you gotta give Joshua. Joshua is not a weakling mentally, but the problem is he's up against one of the strongest guys mentally. Now here's the thing with Usyk.
That's right.
And I've said this about Golovkin too. The only way you're gonna stop these guys is if you break their body, meaning you cannot break their will. That's just a fact.
We saw that. We saw that. The body punches, baby.
That's
it's
right.
Not the same with the fucking heavyweights.
But that's what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, there's very few things you can do to Usyk in the ring that are gonna break his will. You can tell the guy trains like a maniac, and the fact that even if his hardest fights, like against Hunter and against Breedis and against Joshua, he ends up the fight stronger. So he's got a great gas tank. But the only way you're gonna break him is you got to break the body, because you're not going to break the will. So Joshua has to try to do that. Now, I don't know if he can. I don't know if his stamina-wise he's got the ability to do that. But we're going to see, man. It's not an easy fight for Usyk either. He's fighting a fucking giant in there. So it's going to be a...
And he's going to have to do it. He's going to have to do it in the first 6 rounds. And they're also fighting in a fucking oven. You know what I mean? They're also fighting in a place where it's very hot. Very hot.
Would you say that Joshua's playing the machismo role, that he ain't no fucking faggot? I'm just gonna cancel your fucking channel, but in the same time, he's beating the man. No, he's trying to beat. He's trying to do the best he can. No, because we know he's got his fucking faults.
That's right. He's trying to do the best he can. Yeah, he's trying. Yes. And one last thing about that.
He's like a machine, BD. He's like a fucking. He's like a machine. No, he can belt you with the 2 hands. He hits hard. And what I want to say, let's recreate the fucking T-Rex. Let's fucking make this. But that dude got a big head. Then he's top heavy. He's gonna fucking lose weight. He cannot fucking carry his head toward that dude. he's fucking a little chinny, no. He's
well,
a little
listen.
chinny.
That's the thing, though. He's a physical specimen, Joshua. He's a physical specimen, Joshua. But we know I was talking about the will. We know his will can be broken. He got broken in the Ruiz fight. He could have kept going. He wasn't wobbled. He felt the exhaustion. He'd been dropped a bunch of times. And he said, you know what? No mas. He got broken. We haven't seen that with Usyk yet.
He was physically exhausted and he was broken, from the exhaustion mentally.
He's chinny. The body weight, it's too much. The T-Rex is too big.
It was the muscles. Remember, he was more. I think he was too concerned back then. He was doing Instagram shoots, model shoots, 2 days before the fight inside New York City. He really was. He was downtown New York with a shirt off, taking fucking dude. So he was obviously, he got hundreds of millions of dollars and shit. Good looking dude, man. He's smashing it. So of course he a little. So he was pumping the weights too much. And I'm telling you, people don't realize. Some of you guys on there, if anybody's been muscular, how fast you get tired when you're muscular. Like, look at the football players, right? One play is sometimes in the average, I think the average NFL play is 6 seconds, and those guys after 2 or 3 plays are on the sideline on oxygen because they're so big. It takes so much more work to pump blood and oxygen into a muscular body. That's why I always tell fighters, don't fuck with weights. Do everything using your own body resistance. You can build up enough strength that way. Don't lift heavy if you don't have to.
Hey, by the way, that's an excellent point, Jimmy. And I just wanted to touch on something too when you said, you don't remember too many people picking Usyk. Just if anybody wants to refresh their memory during the build-up to this fight, watch the videos we did. We were doing live film analysis about Usyk Joshua, and we did one about Usyk. And I remember, man, some people in the chat and some people in the comment section like, haha, you're gonna see on fight night. We wanna see the excuses you have for Usyk, and we're like, all right, listen. Too many people, they don't understand. They think that if you pick one guy, that means you're not giving the other guy any chance. It's no, hey, you gotta pick a fighter. You gotta pick a winner and a loser. Just because you pick one guy as a winner doesn't mean. But anyway, a lot of those people that were saying we were idiots for picking Usyk, didn't exactly come out of the woodwork afterwards. So, but we'll see. Listen, I'm telling you,
we didn't hear much from them, did we?
But I'm telling you though, this rematch, they're still concerned, man. Because even though I picked Usyk in the first one, I'm telling you, I wasn't 100% confident he was going to do it because Joshua, like I said, big dude, like Gonzalez said, he can punch with both hands, and who knows what he's going to bring in the rematch. There's a little bit of a mystery there, but I'll still pick Usyk. Just don't be surprised if it's harder than the first fight. Could be. That's all I'm saying. What else? Well, listen, I think we covered a lot of things here. Next week, we've got Teofimo Lopez, the return of Teofimo Lopez. Let me just double check here. I think the fight's taking place at 140 now. He's taking on a very... listen, we're going to talk about it more this week, but the guy he's fighting is no pushover, even though most people don't know him. Pedro Campa. Watch his fights.
Yeah, Pedro Campa. Woo!
The other thing about this fight is it's a 10-rounder. So if Teofimo Lopez falls behind early and he's just looking to counter and staying on the ropes, Campa might outwork him. You never know. I'm very curious to see Teofimo Lopez, man.
My thinking, BD, is
what the fuck? What's going on, man?
No. What is the dude? The Lomachenko, the dude that he beat? Not Campa. The dude is fucking the lightweight. What's it? What the fuck?
All right, Lomachenko beat.
Teofimo Lopez. He's not chinny. He's not chinny, but he is. When you catch that dude with speed and power, he's not expecting it. He gets caught and he gets dropped. He's been dropped many a time. BDA.
Talking about Lopez.
When he gets Teofimo Lopez, when he's not expecting it, he's chinny. Because speed and power will surprise that motherfucker.
Well, I'll say this, man.
He is, but he isn't. He is, but he isn't. Because when he gets surprised with speed and power, he's not expecting it. He's getting dropped on the fucking end.
Wasn't that the first time he was ever down though against Cambodia?
Unless they debut.
I didn't know.
Okay.
On his professional debut, he got dropped. And in fucking sparring, he got dropped 2 times at least against El Rayo Valenzuela. And his professional debut, he got dropped once. And this biggest fight ever, he got dropped against fucking Cambosos. That dude is fucking chinny. No, when he gets fucking riled up, and we can expect he can take the punch. But when he's not expecting it, that dude's getting dropped, BDA. He's getting dropped. He's
All
like
right.
a little shell shook. He's not mature. He's not catching the impact. Boom! The impact is not catching according to like the chin. The chin is a little weak when it comes to
Gonzalo, we're gonna talk about that more as this week. We're gonna see what's up, man. But it's an intriguing fight.
You feel what I mean?
It's an intriguing fight. He's fighting at 140. We'll see if the weight actually benefits him. Actually, we got a phone call here. Let's go to the phone call. 410, you're on the air. 410, you're on the air. 410, what's on your mind?
How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed, sir. What's up?
Huh? Oh yeah, just wanted to make a couple comments. One, I'm looking forward to Teofimo Lopez coming back. It's going to be interesting to see how he looks. I couldn't quite make out what your guest was saying there. I haven't seen anything from Teo to say that he's chinny. He got flash knockdown against Kambosos there in that first round. And yeah, he got caught. That's going to happen in boxing. Ortiz fought last night. He got caught a couple times. Gary Russell's brother fought last weekend. He got caught a couple times. That happens. That happens in boxing. You're not going to get in there and fight a perfect fight against a world-class fighter and not even get hit. People make too much of a fighter. I can't hear what he's saying.
No, just keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, people make too much of fighters getting hit or caught from time to time, or even getting knocked down. This stuff happens in boxing. Especially if you're a guy that's a bit of an aggressive fighter, and you want to put on a show, which is what these fighters need to do. They need to, we don't need any more jab and grab artists. Mayweather almost killed boxing with 10 years of jab and grab. And what we need is fighters that are willing to fight, that come to fight, and irregardless, you're gonna get caught from time to time. But I thought Ortiz looked pretty good last night. His opponent is a reminder to a lot of casual fans that want to down European fighters. I mean, the guy didn't have much pop. You could see that, but he had excellent timing. He had good size on him for 47, and that guy's a good fighter. I think against a lot of other fighters, less aggressive fighters, let's say, I think I could see why he was undefeated. I mean, the guy, doesn't have a lot of power, but he's got good timing, and he even caught Ortiz in the first round. And I don't know if you noticed, but he caught him and kind of like stagger stepped him.
Yeah, he did, man. I mean, he did that, and he also tried to be a little bit dirty in there. I mean, he was just trying to do different things to try to offset Ortiz, but it just wasn't going to happen. He just didn't have the skills or the punching power to get it done.
Yeah, and that's why that was my next point. Ortiz, regardless of what some people say, like these different content providers around YouTube, he's ready right now. He's even comp for anybody in the welterweight division. That's not to say he's going to beat everybody in the welterweight division, but I think he's even comp and has as good a chance as anybody of beating any of those guys, because that type of aggression that guy shows, along with his punching power, is going to be hard to beat for a lot of guys. It just is. Now, I know Spence and Crawford are the top guys in the division, but they're human. They get caught too. Spence gets hit a good bit, especially when he's fighting an active fighter like Porter, or if you've seen the Brook fight. He took plenty of punches in that fight. And Bud Crawford gets caught too. I mean, it's just like I say, it's boxing, and I love the aggression from Ortiz. Boxing needs fighters like that, and I was a little disappointed to not see a better crowd in there last night. But hopefully they work on that for him. And if they can't get this Crawford Porter fight, man, let's get straight to Crawford getting in the ring with Ortiz. And then lastly, Usyk and Joshua. Yeah, that fight was no domination for Usyk. Usyk won the fight, no argument there. but that was no easy fight, and it was not a domination. Not the fight that I saw. The fight I saw, seen them trading rounds, going back and forth until about the 8th round, and then Joshua, he couldn't keep the pace, and Usyk was already faster than him, and so that puts you at a distinct disadvantage when you're a big guy and you got to try to keep the pace of a smaller guy, but also the smaller guy a lot of times is faster than you, and that just makes it that much more problematic. I got to give Joshua credit for getting right back in the ring with this guy, because this could be a career ender for him.
Absolutely.
And yeah, not to mention, when he fought Ruiz, I mean, Ruiz beat him up, beat him down, basically made him quit. And he fought Ruiz right away in a rematch, which, I like that. Win, lose, or draw, I like that. He's the type of ticket seller that if he wanted to avoid fighters, he could. If he didn't, he could have avoided fighting Ruiz again, possibly. And Usyk, too, for that matter, at least for a couple of fights, but that's not what he's doing. He's getting right back in there. If he can make a couple adjustments, and Usyk maybe not as good as he was on the night, if he's not, if he's off his game a little bit, and Joshua makes a couple adjustments, we could be looking at a possible trilogy.
Oh, well, listen, we'll see what happens 2 weeks from now, man. 2 weeks from now, it's going to go by fast. Well, listen, thank you for your call. I'll call back next time, right, man?
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you for calling in. Take it easy.
Right.
Yeah, good call right there. Good call. All right, let's go to another phone call. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Give us a like. It takes 2 seconds. 346. You're on the air. 346. What's on your mind?
Hey, what up, B-Day? It's Logical Man, man.
Oh,
Check
Logical
this out,
Man.
man. Virgil. Hey, what's up, man? Definitely that fight right there with Virgil was definitely a test if he can, catch guys that move around a lot, kind of slick, Because let's be honest, man, he wasn't going to stop Virgil or be a real threat. So the dude had like 6 knockouts after 20 fights or something like that. It's terrible. He had like a women's record or something like that. Shield type shit. But what else I say, man? Cobb, I couldn't hear you. What happened?
No, he's saying Gonzalo's saying 2 knockouts. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, 2. Well, okay, damn, that's even worse. But Cobb, man, he didn't do too bad. He seemed like he can be a good tune-up for either Virgil if they can't get no fight for him. But Cobbs could fight Rolly Romero. That'd be a good special ed Olympics fight. It wouldn't be bad. I think they'd have a good fight with that one. Man, another thing I gotta say, like Ennis himself, I hope he fights Seniotis or that Russian guy that really tests his chin and know where he at. I think that'd be a great fight to happen. Hoping it happens like in a month or two. That'd be good. And the Usyk versus AJ. Man, look, AJ ain't with it, man. He getting his ass whooped. Usyk gonna put that work on him. We just gotta see what Fury's gonna do, man. I don't know if Fury's gonna sign this goddamn fight with Usyk and get it over with, dude, or he gonna still be retired. If he retired, he need to go ahead and why he still got the belt? Why they haven't relinquished him of that belt? He need to go ahead and vacate that WBC if he's so called retired and go ahead and do his coke and whatever he's gonna do, because he holding it up. If that's not, he's not gonna fight nobody. We all know he was getting a money fight with AJ. That's the only point he's want to fight AJ. But the Usyk fight can be good money too, but ain't gonna be no, 40 million plus type thing deal for him. So it's not really happening.
Yeah, man. Listen. Apparently, Usyk said that if he beats Joshua, he's looking to put pressure on Fury for a December fight. I don't know if that happens this year or that because depending on what happens, he might take damage in the Joshua fight. He might not be ready for December. But Fury ain't retired. I'm telling you right now that he's just playing more mind games. That's what he does. He's not retired. He knows there's a lot of money on the line and all the marbles on the line if he fights the winner of Usyk Joshua too. So there's that to consider too. Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we move on? Logical.
Nah,
all right, man. Well, listen,
man, I'm just ready to see. I'm ready to see Tio come back, man. I can't wait till we talk about that fight for Tio Lopez. And that's about it, man. Nothing else really interesting. But a second renaissance, I need them debates, man. I need them debates. I'm ready for them.
Yeah, I saw you going at it with 2-3 people in the Discord. Well, we'll see if any of them step up and see what happens. I don't even know what the subject would be, but we'll work that out. We'll work the details out. All right, well, listen, thank you for your call, man. Take it easy, man.
Just leave it.
All right.
All right, man. Peace.
Take it easy. All right. Well, this was the show. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Oh, hold on a second. We got a super chat here. Well, hold on, Gonzalo. We got a super chat here. Carrot caller here. Shout out to Michael Poe for his generous contribution. He says, "What's happened, everyone? Here's a few shekels." Oh, shout out to Michael Poe, man. Very generous, Michael. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. And I hope you're doing well out there.
Michael.
I hope you're enjoying the show as well.
Yeah, in regards to the caller, can you hear me, BD?
Yes, I can.
That's Mr. Logical Man?
Who just called in, yeah.
This is what. Yeah, we got to think about something. Okay, yes, the dude got not 6 stoppages, he's got 2. But if you got 2 knockouts and you're surviving, it's for something. You ain't getting knocked the fuck out, and you're a hanger-on because you must be tough, nobody.
Yeah,
so for some reason, there must be something about your fucking whitey chin, your steely fucking something about you that you're fucking hanging on against these motherfuckers. Now, you faced Vergil Ortiz. Whoa, he couldn't knock you out to the fucking chin. He got you to the body. Guess what? Something about that dude is fucking telling me that he's a tough motherfucker. Right or wrong?
You're absolutely right. Yeah, guys aren't exactly jumping on him.
So let's not misinterpret 6 or 2. Whether he got 2 knockouts or 6, that dude is fucking wily. The dude is fucking crafty. He's not running away from you. He's laying on you. And he's fucking exchanging. He's fucking... No, and against Ortiz, when you're hitting some dude and you cannot knock him out, but all of a sudden your punches ain't counting, and all of a sudden, like, your punches are like, you're belting that dude to the fucking body, and I cannot come out. Guess what? He's getting fucking exacerbated. Ortiz is, why can I knock this fucking dude out?
That's true. That can happen too. Yeah, that's why it's important not to look for a knockout, because you can get tangled up.
I don't care if I don't care if you're the hardest puncher fucking you're Julian Jackson. You're not gonna knock everybody out.
All right. Well, listen, shout out to Frankie Sainz for extending his membership program. Shout out to Frankie. He says, great show, guys. De La Hoya's girl kept swiping her nose last night. Also, Ortiz versus Spence in Texas. Make it happen. Crawford fight the winner. Well, listen, that wouldn't be a bad road. Although, of course, we all want to see Crawford and Spence fight now. We don't want to see any marinating. But hey, listen, if they can make it any other way, that's as good as way as any. So shout out to Frankie for extending his BD membership program. Shout out to Michael as well for his generous contribution. And we got a phone call here, a late phone call. Let's go to it. 562, you're on the air. 562, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, BDA? The Vergil Ortiz performance, I thought it was a great performance. Yeah, I just want to say, I'm seeing all the detractors. Vergil can't box. He's slow-footed. He's not ready.
Whoa.
And I understand where that's coming from. But my prediction is that Bud Crawford, Vergil Ortiz, see what you guys think, would look very similar to Julio Cesar Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor.
Oh, you know what, man? I don't think it would look similar in this. I don't think it would look similar because I don't think Crawford would start slugging. I don't think he'd slug it out with him the way what's his name, Taylor was, or at least not the same, because Taylor wasn't that big a puncher. He was just shoe shining. Crawford does pack a bigger punch. But listen, here's the thing. Everyone talks about how Ortiz is hittable, blah, blah, blah. It seems that way because he's got the high guard, but he's blocking a lot of shots. Crawford's the guy that doesn't fight with a guard. He fights, he drops his hands, he gets caught with overhand shots. How would he take an Ortiz shot? That's a big question.
Well, Vergil, people who don't understand boxing or the back footers, they don't understand the type of Vergil that he implies. He does a lot of parrying. If you notice, he parries a lot. Oscar De La Hoya used to parry a lot because he had that quick left hook. Whereas Vergil, he's looking to dig to the body. So people were saying McKinson looked good, but if you realize, you say, oh, he had a shot, but what Vergil does is he hits you on the way out. That's how Calabasas has success against Bud Crawford.
That's true. Exactly. That's an excellent point.
Because if he can't catch you, he's like a Chavez or Castillo. They're gonna bang to the body on your way out, and that's why Tito Trinidad used to be very effective on banging guys on the hip to slow them down for later in the fight. These guys, they don't know what they're watching. They think he's slow-footed, but he does a lot of subtle things because he wants to get you in exchanges, and Bud is not going to win those exchanges.
You're right, man. They fall for the flash. It's all about the flash for a lot of these guys, man. I think you're onto something.
Well, if you look at Boots Ennis, did somebody have something to say? And I was just going to finish the point. And if you look at Boots Ennis, okay, he he has some, like you say, flash and style, but he could be another AB. So all these people saying, "Oh, Boots is smoking," it's like he could be another Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner showed the same flashes, but we don't know until they get against a McDonough. These guys are weirdos. How Meldrick Taylor ran into Chavez, Mayweather ran into Castillo. There's styles that can neutralize what Bud does. And then about Bud, he's not ready. How is Vergil not any better than Amir Khan, Kell Brook, and Sean Porter? So tell me he's not ready. You're right. Listen, he could be another Donald Curry. You never know, man. He still hasn't been tested, at least when it comes to a puncher. So you're right. You're absolutely right, man. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But anyway, listen, 562. Anything else you want to say before we move on? Okay. No, I'm not going to buy. Everybody's trying to tell me how great Bud Crawford is. I'm going to go out on a limb. He has talent, but he's not great. Look at his 147 run. He's not as great as people are saying. And until Earl and Bud fight, that's who will know who the elite 147 pounder was. But until then, you can't tell me that either guy's great. That's a good point. Well, listen, 562. I think Vergil could end up being the guy that beats at least one of them because they're probably not going to fight. I agree with you. He's that good. 562. Good call, man, and call back next time, right, man? Okay, thank you. All right, take it easy, man. Yeah, I just want to say one last thing about that. 562 spot, because I think he made a good point. I think he made a good point. But hold on, Gonzalo. Everyone's talking about Jaron Ennis, and he's good. Crawford. Everyone's talking about Crawford. But here's the thing: when people look at Canelo and they say there's asterisks next to his big wins, I agree. There's asterisks and there's things that have gone wrong. Judges, bad decision, all that. How come there's very few people like to? I don't hear as many people talking about Crawford's asterisks as much as they do Canelo. Let's take a look at Crawford's asterisks. He does have a lot of them. Can we talk about how he's run? Gonzalo, can we talk about the fact? Can we talk about his mediocre run at 147? Sure. Can we talk about? Listen, people keep saying, "Well, he stopped Sean Porter. Okay, that's his big win at 147. The fact that he stopped the guy that everyone else already beat. Okay, he became the first to stop him, but he'd been beaten before. Did he really do it in that concussive a fashion or that comprehensive a fashion that he deserves all this hype? Kavaliauskas is the guy that everyone's talking. Now they're giving him credit because of the Ortiz thing, and they're looking at how good he was, that he gave Ortiz a good fight. So they're saying, okay, that Crawford beating him, it was a good win. But who else? Dehydrated Brook, shot Amir Khan, one-legged Benavides. Come on, man. And the fact that he's struggling in those fights too. He's struggling against Benavides. He's struggling against Kavaliauskas. Brook was outboxing him. Crawford is good because he keeps winning. Yes, he keeps getting the job done. But how is he getting the job done? Is he doing it in that comprehensive a fashion? I've been disagreeing for the last 3 years. I was high on him in 2018, but since then, he hasn't really shown me much that I can go and look, whoa, he's that good, he's that great. He's dangerous. He's got speed, power, and he's got mean intentions to bring that forth. But I think people are overrating him a little bit.
I agree with you, BDA, too, on everything you just said about him, about his wins and all that other stuff. My thing is this: when I talk about him being good, it's in comparison to today's stuff. I wouldn't put him as an all-time great welterweight like some people do. I just wouldn't because of that. You know what I mean? But I compared to Spence, I think he'll beat Spence. That's just my opinion.
Going back to don't mix and match. Going back to what I wanted to say before, don't mix. Hey, to the last caller, don't mix and match Julio Cesar Chavez when the Julio.
You're breaking up, Gonzalo. Might as be just as well.
Julio Cesar Chavez is a 35-pounder. He got the division. He was a 3-division champion. No, let me finish. By the time he finished, hey, Jimmy, let me fucking finish.
Nobody's talking. Go ahead, man. Gonzalo, can you hear us?
He was a 35-pounder, no?
When Chavez beat Taylor, he was a 140. It was a 140 fight. It was a unification fight.
So, Boots Ennis, don't compare what Vergil Ortiz. He's not exciting.
What? Ortiz is not exciting?
But he was never a 47-pounder.
All right. Well, I'll agree with you for the sake of agreeing. But listen, we've got to go. We've been on for more than. I don't want to go 3 hours sometimes with these shows. I want to keep them at least under 3 hours. But listen, Gonzalo, we got to go. Thanks to everybody that called in. Thanks to everybody that donated the super chat. I want to give a shout out to the Quags. everyone that listened, by the way, the Quacks, Jay Perez, I Am Your Leader, Brian Montes, Sam Rando, Bañuelos, Eparocua, The Logical Man, everyone that extended their BD membership. Glad to have you guys on board as always. Hope you enjoyed the show. Gonna try to be back this Wednesday to preview the Teofimo Lopez fight, the return of Teofimo Lopez, see what happens there. Could be an upset happening. And we'll catch you on the next one, fellas. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.